What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 40. As usual, here with my resident homies, Casey, Joel, and Joseph. I'm Anthony. This week, thank you to all the subscribers. Dude, shit's growing. I love it. We're at like 800 something. Let's try and make this thing 1,000 by the end of this summer, dude. You guys keep telling your friends, dude. I'm seeing the surges. I love it. So, subscribers, thank you. All the new subscribers, thank you very much. Apple Podcast listeners, we should get. I've been hearing a lot about Spotify lately, so we need to look into that. Everybody's like, "Where are you at on Spotify?" So we'll be getting into that soon. CaliDeath.com, all that good shit. But this week we got a fucking awesome dude, an old homie of mine, one of the first people that I came across in the Pound crew. Him and his wife would be regulars at every show that I was, and we just fucking hit it off. They're friends. He was friends with Severed. You got Vile, Osmium, fucking all these crazy bands that I was watching, seeing coming up and shit. So fucking Jeff Hughell from currently 6 Feet Under. What's up, dude?
Not much, guys. Thanks for having me. First off, I'll say the last name is Hughell.
Sorry, brother.
You didn't know that?
Wrong my whole life.
Right off the bat.
You know what? I literally was going back and forth with it because I was like, I don't really remember how to say it, but it sounds like it would be like Hughell, but I still went Hughell, dude. My bad.
All good. People do.
Dude, everybody butchers my last name all the fucking time, dude. So I got Trapini, Trampanzi, fucking
Trampanzi. I thought it was Hughell. That's how I was spelling. Okay,
a lot of people think that too.
Yeah.
It's like the name Hugh, and then you just add a ELL.
Oh, I see Hugh in there now. Okay, I looked at
that's how I would have. That's how I was reading it, and I was like, I've heard people say Hughell though too.
What country is that from? Like, what's the language?
It's Welsh.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
Nice, dude. Well, fuck yeah, this is fucking sick. You were always one of the guys that I knew that I wanted to have on because I love the Pound stories. Bay Area, were you native Bay Area?
I was born in Orange County actually, but I moved here when I was 4 years old. So I mean, I basically grew up in the East Bay. Yeah.
Okay. Sick, dude. And so how long from the East Bay, how long were your drives to the Pound?
So when we met, I was probably living in San Jose. I moved to San Jose when I met my wife 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been together for exactly 20 years. So
sick, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fuck yeah, dude. So what we usually do is we want to go back to the beginning with you. Take us through your whole journey, dude. When all this, you could start before music. You could start with music. That's where we like to start and just fucking go off from there, dude.
Okay. Wow. So, like a lot of people, the way that I started listening to metal and music was I had an older brother. And so, we shared a bedroom until I was like 10 years old. So anything that he was listening to, I was subjected to. So that's how I got into, in the early days, it was like hair metal and Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. And then Slayer came in when I was probably like 8 years old. So I listened to Slayer, Metallica. And
what year was that?
88.
Nice.
Yeah. So I remember like hearing, South of Heaven, Raining Blood, stuff like that. And of course, Metallica, Master of Puppets, I think was the first one that I heard. So that was my first thing with metal. And then I didn't start playing until 93 when I was 13 years old. And Cliff Burton was basically the reason that I started playing bass in particular.
So bass was the first instrument.
I played guitar for about a month. And then realized that I'd probably rather play bass.
Nice. I like that. Bass players need to get more fucking credit. I know there's a lot of bass players that get credit, including yourself in metal, but it's like the rhythm section of the song is the whole fucking foundation of that shit, dude. And the bass players in some of these bands, I think get, overshadowed by other things that people look for because they don't really look into music like that and look for what the rhythm section is and just feeling the bass, dude. The fucking bass is so sick.
I agree. And I think a lot of it also has to do with the production on most albums, and that the bass player really has to like fight to have his bass be up in the mix, and obviously have good bass lines, you know, that make sense, that are going to make you want to hear it more in the music. But yeah, a lot of good bass gets buried. And I mean, you know, like I was saying, Cliff was the reason I started playing, and you listen to those old albums and the bass isn't loud or anything. It was the videos, like watching Cliff 'em all and all those old clips, that you would actually hear the bass and tell that there's something really amazing going on.
What was that story about? Like Ride the Lightning didn't have any bass? Was it Ride the Lightning?
Justice for All.
Justice for All.
Justice for All. Well, that was after Cliff died. Obviously, that's Jason Newsted. But I think
that was a conspiracy. Like they left Jason lower on purpose because he wasn't Cliff. I don't know.
I think that's definitely it. I think that that it was kind of symbolic of what happened.
There's a
the
video.
Absence of Cliff. We're just gonna like, because Lars. I heard some story that the bass was already really low in the mix, and then Lars came in and was like,
there's a video
turn it
about
down much more.
Yeah. There's a video on YouTube of the producer, or like the engineer or whatever.
Right.
Not the engineer, more like, but basically, you know, like, and he talks about it, and like Lars came in and kept telling him to turn the bass down, and you know, whatever.
Right. And then Lars saw him a couple of years ago and then said something to him like, why was the bass so low on that album?
To the engineer, to Newsted.
You're the one that told me to do it.
Yeah. Obviously, Casey says there's obvious footage of him doing it. So how could he be asking that question, dude?
Right. Exactly.
Trip. That's so weird to be like.
Well, there's footage of the guy talking about it.
Imagine being Jason Newsted, though. You know, it's like you're fucking never fully accepted as a full member of Metallica. You're just like this like extra like tied on appendage or something that kind of keeps things going. But I mean, Cliff is Cliff, dude. So,
well, shout out to Jason. He kind of came into the band at a bad time for the band, and then he kind of like by Black Album was laying it down as a solid member, and like his backup vocals were always super sick. I don't know.
Totally.
It's just like almost doing like death metal vocals.
It's just weird that in the Metallica camp, they probably never called him like a full member of Metallica.
I remember seeing in the documentaries and stuff, they're like, Jason's always the new guy. Like he's on, you know, he's in a decade in the band. Like we still call him the new guy. Like they like,
he took a lot of shit, I think.
Yeah. The razzing, the what do you call, like when you join a fraternity or whatever, that like, you know, hazing kind of like. Yeah. They kept that going until probably kind of mellowed out before he left, but they kept that going for a long time.
It sucks because Injustice for All is such a good album, like Black,
such a good album.
It's like it's crazy. It's like super sick. So, but there are mixes also like online that like on YouTube and stuff that have the bass all cranked and shit.
Right.
You know, it's kind of cool.
I remember trying to listen to that album like on good headphones or a good system or whatever, and you just can't hear any bass on that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't tell that.
So as a Cliff fan, and then this new guy comes in, and then you're like, I want to hear some bass, and then there's no fucking bass. It's like, as a bass player who loves Metallica, that must have been definitely a fucking hit. Like, oh, dude.
I don't remember it being a thing back then, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably didn't have ears for it back then.
On that, you know, that you're not really missing the bass because there's like 8 layered guitar tracks that are just huge. So
yeah. And the triggers, that was like the first one with triggers on the kick drum, right?
I had that huge kick drum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's like 13 years old. You're starting to play bass.
Yep. So I went through kind of some weird phases. Now I got into in high school, I got into jazz band because I wanted to be able to play music at school and, you know, have a class like that. So I started getting into playing upright bass and sight reading music. And for a while, I really got into more like jazz and progressive stuff. And that's kind of how I got into the whole progressive kind of like virtuoso playing stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of really was leaning towards that for maybe 2 years or so before I got back into metal. And, you know, I was always a huge Pantera fan.
Nice.
And I think one of the things that got me back into metal was hearing Death.
Sick.
And like, that wasn't something that my brother had listened to. So when I heard it and I heard, like Individual Thought Patterns and
fuck yeah,
really everything from Human on, I like the earlier records, but everything from Human on was just so progressive.
Yeah, dude, I
it
say
wasn't
that
really
too.
like normal death metal. It was
I respect all that early shit too, and I listen to it and I do find great parts of it and I love rocking out to it, but really my death is Human on.
Yeah,
that's where I really fucking, that's my death,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So that was a huge inspiration, listen to that. And so I was always into, the thrash stuff and stuff like that. And I never really listened to death metal. I remember I had a buddy that showed me Cannibal Corpse, and, I liked it, and I had seen it. I had just seen it on Ace Ventura. And I was like, wow, this is brutal. Like I love the hammer smash face, but I didn't totally get into it. And it wasn't until I auditioned for Vile that I actually started listening to death metal.
No shit.
But yeah, so I tried out and I was like, yeah.
So how old are you at that time?
I tried out for Vile when I was 18.
Okay. So tell us how if you weren't really into that style, into like straight up death metal, how is it that you come across the dudes in Vile and get the opportunity?
So I had one of the guys that showed me death actually originally, I ran into him at the gas station or something. And he's like, I just went and saw Deicide last night, and this band Vile opened up, and they were like better than Deicide. It was like the best local band I've ever seen, and saying all this stuff. And so that day I went to Guitar Center, and there's this, remember you used to go to Guitar Center and there'd be like a board that had all these ads.
Yep.
And so it was like Vile looking for bassist. And I was like, what? Shit. So I literally took it off the wall so nobody else would see it.
Damn.
You took all the pull off tabs.
I just pulled the whole thing. No, I still have it. It didn't have any pull off things. It just had the phone number.
Yeah. Nice.
I still have that somewhere like in a box or something.
Sick.
So yeah, I just called him up and went and tried out, and it was definitely, there were parts that were above my technical ability at that time.
So was that the first, that jam was the first time you met Mike Hamilton?
Yeah, and I remember that was the first time I'd ever heard a trigger, like on a drum set. Came in and I'm like, how the fuck does the bass drum sound like that? I'd never heard anybody playing double bass that fast either, at that point, right in front of me. So, yeah. And Colin, he gave me a couple, I was like, yeah, I'm not that into death metal, but I told him what I was into, and he gave me a couple albums, and one of them was Pierce from Within. And I was like, holy shit, like, why have I not been listening to this? I had seen the name Suffocation before, but I just never really listened to him.
Yeah.
And I was blown away. And I mean, still, that's one of my favorite death metal albums ever.
Dude, I think that's really just champion. I think all guests eventually bring up Pierce from Within.
So we don't even bring it up, and they bring it up on their own.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to make a blog post about this. I actually got all the transcripts from all the episodes and searched through all of them to see how many hits of Pierce from Within there were.
Really?
And I actually need to do some correction of the transcripts, because I don't think the word pierced from within always gets picked up correctly by the YouTube.
We say pierced
transcriber. Yeah.
If we just say pierced, it still counts.
But it is like ubiquitous. Like every episode, it's Master of Puppets and Pierce from Within, and we're like 20 minutes in and we got them both already. So yeah, you're par for the course, man. Keep going.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So that was it, and I practiced my face off like I always did before, and got the songs down, and that was the first big shows I played. I think the second show I played with them was at the Maritime Hall. Sold out with Morbid Angel, Nile, us, and then I think Malediction opened, if you remember that.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. So, and sold out Maritime Hall, like, in the big part was, I don't know, 2,000 people or something like that. So
where was that hall?
Maritime Hall in San Francisco.
I don't know. Never heard of it.
Probably closed in like 2003 or 4 would be my guess.
Yeah. It's
probably right around the time the Pound opened.
Good timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we did the Milwaukee Metal Fest. We did a tour in '99 with Phallic Carnage and Drawn and Quartered.
Oh shit!
A couple, kind of like a mini tour with Immolation, and that ended with the November to Dismember in San Antonio, and that was like SOD, Morbid Angel. I can't even remember all the bands, but it was a really, really amazing lineup.
Sick, dude. So that's like, and those are your first experiences being on stage.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Would you say that, because my brother, he comes from an older generation, got me into death metal as well, but he was talking about, death metal in the 90s and stuff, and how it was like fucking huge back then for a little while, right? It was like, you said 2,000 people at Maritime Hall. Like he said, like every show that was coming through that was like a Deicide, Morbid Angel, something to that caliber would be like fucking sold out like everywhere for like mid to late 90s for a little while.
Right. So I remember that Morbid Angel package, but it was just Morbid Angel and Nile. And this was like on, the first Nile album, or Among the Catacombs. I think they had one before that. But anyway, so it was just 2 bands on that package. And I think they sold out the Cactus Club in San Jose. Then they sold out the Maritime Hall. And then the next night they sold out the Cocodrie in San Francisco. It's like, could you even imagine a tour doing San Jose and then San Francisco?
That's a mini tour just in the Bay Area, dude. And you sell it all out.
Yeah. And now the Bay Area just gets skipped most of the time.
Dude. Yeah. It's sad, really.
They're all going to Sacramento now. It's all because everyone left. Like,
they got the smaller, more underground venues up there that are still hungry to get packages coming through. There's no small spot in the city that wants to take anything ambitious,
Right. But last time I saw Joel was in Sacramento, that I drove all the way there to see Rivers of Nile.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Holy Diver.
Yeah. Yep.
It was.
Yep. That's a very cool. I mean, Sacramento's got a bunch of cool little venues like that. I mean, like I've talked about many times on here, just randomly you'll show up on a Tuesday and it'll be like fucking sold out. You're like, all of a sudden you're like, fuck, luckily I know the guy here, or else I wouldn't get a ticket in. It's like, basically Sacramento is kind of the thriving kind of old school Bay Area spot now, because it's more, reasonable to live there, So
I mean, it's new school with the old school vibe, like how things were put together.
I would say it's a new school vibe. It's definitely different than
new
back
school,
in the day.
But with the old school, you see. Oh, okay. But I thought like the DIY shows and the small venues, that type of shit. Having the community.
There's like everyone you go to those shows, it's kind of like, going to, I guess you could kind of relate it to the Pound, where you go there and 15, 20 people that are there. It's just like the same.
That was a guarantee. If you went to the Pound, you're a regular, you're going to end up running into people that familiar faces, like Jeff and his wife constantly. Yeah. I knew Jeff and his wife would be at every show I went to.
Your wife worked at the Pound, right? Am I correct with that?
My sister-in-law. So my wife's
sister-in-law. Okay. Got it. She brutally kicked me out backstage with suffocation once and embarrassed me.
I just thought about that the other day.
What did you do?
I don't.
Tell the story.
I was like me.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah. Were you there for that?
Just a guilty by association.
No, she told me that she felt bad about it, but he was just hanging out with everybody else. And for some reason, she thought that Joel was just like some outsider that didn't belong in there. It was just like,
later, dude.
Yeah.
And it was like me, Terrence, and Derek hanging out or something in the backstage. And I just got like, and Derek's wearing an Odious Mortem shirt. and I just get like completely cussed out. Like, what the fuck? And like, to the point where like Derek and shit like thought I did something wrong. They were like, maybe thought I did something inside or something that was bad. Because
so
it was
distanced instead of backing you up.
No, because I got like, she let me have it, and I was like, holy shit! Like I'm in trouble. Like, am I in trouble now? What's going? Like I have no idea what was going on. I was like, oh shit. Well, I guess I'll go back.
Well, when people are in work mode, she's just.
No, I know. No, I even the next day, I was just like, that was crazy. Huh? I didn't really I wasn't like, fuck her. I was like, oh shit, I was backstage. I didn't have any kind of credentials or anything.
I got caught with a fake ID at the Pound. I had one scanned, and You know, the big heavy set white dude that would always get the door. I forget his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I know exactly
he was one of the security guys that he would have good nights and bad nights, and if you go enough, you would experience both, you know. And I caught him on a bad night, and I think that fake ID was just a little too thin compared to most other IDs, and he kept on. And then he was like, "Nope, dude, this isn't real." And I was like, "Fucking scan it, dude." I'm like 19 years old. Fucking scan it. It'll fucking scan. He's like, "Nah, dude, nah. I'm keeping this." And I'm like, "Fuck, dude." So I literally held out all night without drinking. And at the end of the night, I was like, "Dude, I need to drive home, dude. Can I have my ID back?" And he fucking gave it to me. But it's just like, dude. I'm like, literally, it's so funny to look back at myself at that age and be like, you were being an asshole about a lie. You're lying to this dude right now, but you're getting mad at him for catching you in your lie. It's so stupid.
Well, one thing about the pound too, I always noticed is that, I was, obviously there was kind of pretty hardcore security there. And even to the point where right before I played there, they were just being dicks to me. And then we played a set or something. Might have been the Necrophagia show. I forget, but we played a set, and then, all the guys that were dicks to me were like, "Oh, let me take all the stuff to your car," and they were like super nice to me. From then on, like I got respected in there.
Isn't that weird? They look at you different. You're a fan or a band.
Like, yeah. They were just like, whatever, local opener, like fuck off. Yeah. But then after that show, I remember they helped me take the fucking bass cab, the humongous one, to the truck and like load it all for me.
That was their apology, dude.
Yeah, I was. No, I saw what was going down, but I was like, okay, well, I'm in now, dude. I'm sick now, dude.
That's a good feeling. The first time you play at the Pound. Well, actually, that wasn't the first time we played, but just being on the Pound stage, dude, you're like, fucking, I'm on the home turf, dude.
Yeah,
I'm playing for the home team right now. It's like getting a fucking football gig or something. I played this game, dude.
You made the team, dude.
Basketball, sorry.
But yeah, no. So I mean, Jeff. So you joined Vile. So were you was Stench of Redemption out yet, or was that
the Deceased?
Stench of the Deceased. Shit. What's Stench of? That's a DSL.
So it was not out when I joined the band, and but the bass, like everything was already done for it. So I actually played the CD release show, and supported the whole album as it came out and all that stuff. But I was never actually on a Vile album.
Okay.
There was a couple demos for Relapse that we did. It was like some compilation album, but I kind of got screwed out of playing on the next album, but whatever.
Yeah, that happens.
But yeah, I was gonna say, go back to the Pound. I remember one thing I remember is, because my sister-in-law worked there. There'd be like some huge line for a show, and all the security guards knew me like family, so I'd just like walk up. Everyone's in this huge line. I just walk up with my wife and just
VIP.
Walk right.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to mention, going back a little bit further, is when I was in high school, I was in this band Vengeance. That was my high school band, and so we would play shows locally, like in Danville at the Vets Hall, and there was this band, You Fucking Hippie, YFH. Have you ever heard of this band?
No.
Kind of what turned out to be Antagony, All Shall Perish. So Ben Oram was in it. So it's weird. Some of those guys, like I see them and it's like, oh yeah, You Fucking Hippie. Remember? I never remember you.
Yeah.
But
that's part of the. I mean, so All Shall Perish guys. That's kind of like. I mean, there was like Animosity, All Shall Perish.
Well, before All Shall Perish, a couple of those guys used to be in a band called End of All. That was a.
I thought I was going to say that was
Perish before they got the new name, basically.
Yeah, and let's see what you thought I was going to say, Joel.
Oh no, because you just went and took a piss, but I thought you were going to say You Fucking Hippie and just start laughing, but you didn't.
No, so yeah, they used to be like a more Skinless style band where it was like more slammy almost, and they had a demo and they were called End of All back then. Actually, I think they even opened up for Skinless when they came through, and it was like all that almost New York style slamming. And actually the first All Shall Perish record kind of had some vibes of that too.
Yeah, that big singer.
Malice Revenge.
That's right. Yeah.
It was a really good one.
Totally. still had the same vocalist as End of All too. It
wasn't like a humongous dude, right? Like a big old.
He was a big guy.
Dude.
Yeah. Throwing it down though. That was one of those local openers that nobody's gonna find a copy of their shit. I don't even know if it's on YouTube. Just demos, dude.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. So
where are we
cut
at?
Jeff off. I forget.
So,
sorry.
I'm like, oh, now we got to go through all these other millions of bands or something.
Yeah, I know. From what you've seen at that scene, I can't imagine.
Yeah. So Vile. What comes after Vile? Maybe.
Yeah. So after Vile, I moved to Arizona for a while and went to the Conservatory of Recording Arts. And when I came back, that was when Mike had left Vile to join Deeds, and they were trying out drummers, and then whatever happened, it basically didn't work out. I didn't end up staying in the band. And then I kind of joined or formed with this band Mucus Membrane.
Oh yeah. Yep. Fuck yeah.
And so that was with my buddy Rob, who used to be in Cypheria and Osmium. And he's actually how I met my wife. You know, they're
also Severed, right?
Yes, he was in Severed Savior.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So they were like brother and sister practically. And so that's how I met my wife back then. But Mucus Membrane, it was death metal. It had Tom Persons and Nick Avalonitis, you know, these local guys. And that was cool. That didn't last all that long, but we played a couple good shows and stuff like that.
And you guys did a demo too, right?
Yeah, we had a demo.
Yeah, nice.
Exactly. And then, you know, Rob passed away in 2002.
Yeah.
When he was in Severed Savior.
Mm-hmm.
And
so for anybody who doesn't know, Rob Lumbre, that's how you say it, right? Rob Lumbre, he was one of the first guitar players. I don't know if he was a founding member. Was he in there when it was Christ Denied too?
No, so he
joined. He was on Force to Bleed EP, right?
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. Oh yeah, sorry, Jared was on that shit.
Yeah, so Jared joined and was in the same. It was in the band with Mike Gilbert for a while, and then Mike left, and then Rob replaced Mike.
Okay.
And I mean, Rob was one of those people. Like he played drums in Mucus Membrane.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
He played bass in Cypheria.
And his riffs are on Brutality is Law. There's some riffs in there that he was involved. I think he was involved in One by One, and there's a couple other riffs here and there that were his.
I think he came up with the name Brutality is Law.
Sick. And then that last track on that album, if anybody hears it, it's a tribute to him because he had already passed away.
Yep, exactly.
It was a car accident, right?
Yeah, it was a car accident.
Yeah, fuck.
Damn.
R.I.P. Rob.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
So Osmium, so Mucus Membrane, you guys did that for a while, and then what happened after that?
Then I was in this band Asylum, which was kind of with like the guys I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, it was one of those weird things because, I think there's a lot of times in bands where people think that they want to go in this direction and then another person wants to go in this direction. And it's kind of like a battle that's never going to turn out well. You know what I mean? Because the guitarist at the time was trying to be like, he could shred really well, but he didn't want to do that many solos. And then it was like they're trying to go in the new metal direction. And I was trying to stick towards the death metal progressive type of direction. So we played some good shows, had some demos, but it only lasted about 2 years. And then I joined Osmium like right after that, basically.
Nice. So explain Osmium, because that's Bay Area Underground right there, dude.
Yeah. All right. So Osmium was a thrash band from the Bay Area, and they were kind of like the big local band. You know what I mean? They sounded good. They had everything together, but it was more. It was like thrash. It wasn't death metal.
It had the energy though, dude. It made everybody fucking pit.
Exactly.
I remember the Osmium crowds were crazy, dude.
Yeah. So it was the one band that had really the jump, 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 jump.
Yeah.
It wasn't trying to be anything else that anybody would. at that time, I think.
And that was it was I mean, on how bills were put together, you know, it's like a variety of things. Let's not have the same band setting up and breaking down. Basically, if you let's pepper it up with different styles, and that's what I loved about Bay Area shows and having a fucking thrash band like Osmium rip your face off before Severed Savior gets on stage, or you know, it's just like.
Right.
Throw a fucking fruit salad of death metal in that, you know,
a little side salad, you know, with your meat.
Yeah. Which, by the way, dude, you got a delicious looking Instagram, dude. Oh, mouth watering, dude. You're fucking barbecuing like a madman over there.
Thank you. You know, we all got to eat, right?
Totally. Dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Might as well eat the mwah, you know,
the chef's kiss.
So, yeah, you know, I was in that band for 2 years probably. And we tried to set up a tour basically, and things didn't end up working out. I think people were at different places in their lives and just couldn't commit to trying to push the band to the next level. And they really liked, you know, being the cool local band or whatever. And it was really, you know, the singer and the guitarist were brothers, and it was kind of like a real guitar shreddy band too. And so another thing was we practiced 3 days a week, and it was like, to play those things, I really didn't need to practice 3 days a week or maybe even at all. And it was kind of like, I come to practice so these guys can enjoy like wanking off. But I love playing the shows, you know, and
totally.
we're all, you know, still friends basically. And, you know, it was all good times. But anyways, that didn't end up working out. And with this video, you can probably count how many times I say, So that's
dude, I say like 47 times in the intro, dude. It's chill.
Nice. Okay, cool. So after that, I was jamming in Cryptorium with Jared Deaver and Mike Beams and Ramon, and that was another thing that just didn't end up working out. We didn't play any shows. We just jammed for maybe a year or so, but that was a good time putting together those songs and stuff like that. So. Around that time, Colin from Vile hit me up to do some shows, and we did this mini tour with Severed Savior actually, and that was when I met Marco. So Marco was the guy that Colin found to do this tour, and so he was like 19 years old at the time, and I remember I picked him up from his house so we could go jam with Colin, and he seemed oddly cocky at first, but I mean, he's not cocky at all really in reality, but he was just like, oh yeah, I'm 19 years old. I just got off this 50-day tour with Vital Remains. And, you know,
I remember that. Yeah.
He's definitely instantly when I jam with him, you could tell he's one of those guys that can play super fast, obviously, but he just has that groove. He has that timing that I think some, you know, really fast drummers don't have.
Totally.
But it was always just laid down really, really well. So, you know, we instantly clicked with that. And then he told me that he was jamming with this guy, Dylan, from the Santa Cruz Mountains. And I was living in Boulder Creek at the time. So I was like, oh, really? You know, it was this guy. So
Boulder Creek, where is that located compared to, that's still East Bay, right?
No, that's Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz Mountains.
Oh, yeah, okay. Shit.
You know, there's
my bad.
Boulder Creek, Ben Lomond.
I'm thinking of Stevens Creek.
Okay, that's like in San Jose, Santa Clara.
Cupertino. Yeah, I said San Jose. Never mind.
That's where you go buy a car. Yeah.
If you listen to the radio, that's where you go buy a car, dude.
Yeah, there you go. So I went and saw the first Brain Drill show, and I met Dylan briefly, and I think we had like a bottle in the parking lot, and so like I gave him a swig off the bottle. I was like, oh, you know, I play bass, and he was kind of like, whatever. And then he had all these CDs he was giving out, and I was like, dude, let me get a CD. And he's like, oh, I'm giving them all these other people. And I was like, I just gave you a swig off my bottle. You fucking
yeah, dude. That's more than what these other people are giving you. They're just fucking taking that shit from you.
And if you remember, Andre was singing with them for the first.
I think the first show you're talking about, Odious played. It was Abhorrence, Odious, Brain Drill. I want to say it was at the Decrepit Birth at the 418 project.
Yeah,
in Santa Cruz.
Yoga
That was that was like right after bloodletting, right? It was like a week or two after bloodletting. It was like
we had a little break from bloodletting.
Yeah.
So, that was fun. That was an amazing show. I remember there was an ambulance that had to come get somebody. I think it might have been during an odious mortem, someone in the pit. And
what up?
Yeah, it was sick.
So nothing. It's fucked up. It's fucked up that people get hurt at metal shows, though, dude. I'm just saying, like, I was saying that as a joke. It's like it's always fucked up when you see somebody actually has to go to the hospital.
Yeah,
where it gets like a good time.
It's severe hurt, like Bill. That's cool.
yeah. Bill jumps off the stage and breaks his leg. It's cool.
Yeah, that's fucked.
No, I know. I mean, it's not weird. I mean, it's like we're all like trying to like murder each other in a circle. And like,
and Bill was the oldest one out of all of us, and he took the most chances, dude. I remember him up in Canada. He jumped off the tallest stage we played on that whole tour.
Oh, dude.
And fucking like busted his eye on some dude's shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, Bill would actually like, even on tour, the tours I did with Decrepit, there was probably, I want to say 80% of the shows during a certain part, we knew what was going to happen. He would stage dive like every time, like
Bill
almost every time.
Jackass movie, dude. Like
I know. I don't know how he survived. He's like the oldest guy in the group, and he is just diving headfirst into like a bunch of like heads. Like I don't know.
What's that Wild Boys show? Like that guy Manny or something? That guy who like
yeah, he kind of looks like Manny from Wild Boys.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the snake guy.
Dude, that's kinda, Bill's a snake charmer. Yeah,
it's kind of a mix of Diego and Bill.
On tour with Bill, he it was a pretty big show. I think it was in Canada, and he pulls out like the Decrepit Birth CD, and he's like, "Who wants this CD? Come on stage and get it from me." And he's literally got like 15 people on top of him trying to fight him to get the CD, and he held on for a long time.
And he'd call out security too. He'd call out all the front security, be like, "We love the security, but like you gotta get past them, and then you can get to us, and then you get a free CD." Like.
Ruben Rose from the Devourment. When I saw them in Maryland, he was like, "You want this Devourment T-shirt? You got to come get it from me." And like for half a song, this dude and him tug a ward on stage, and I'm thinking like that was like a large. Now it's XXX, dude. He still got it, but like, there's no way that thing is gonna fit correctly now because they literally were. Ruben would not let go. That dude really had to pry it from his fingers,
Yeah,
that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right, back to fucking.
So back to the thing. Oh yeah, so Dylan. So at that show, he was kind of like whatever. I don't even think it really registered like what I was saying or who I was or anything. And so I guess a week or two later, Andre and Marco were both like, "Oh, we know this dude Jeff. He plays a 7-string bass. He could probably, like if anybody could do it, he could probably do it. And he lives like 10 minutes away from you." And so Dylan hit me up and just came over and started teaching me some stuff. And I remember learning some of the riffs, and I was practicing it with a metronome, and I was like, "Oh, I'm getting this down." And then I went and tried to play it with the actual CD, and it's like way faster than you imagine that it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's playing it like, "Oh, I can play it like 250, 260. This shit's at like 310 or something like that."
Yep.
It wasn't to a metronome, so it was like it would sporadically get faster in parts, and so that was really at that time definitely the most challenging thing I'd ever played. And so that was kind of it. He just came over and started teaching me the songs, and then I was in the band, and yeah.
Well, so you already had a 7-string. So how did you get into like the extended range stuff and all that?
And it was around the time that I was in Vile. I had always wanted a couple more strings just to do some of like the higher tapping stuff. And at that time, Guitar Center had the Conklin 7-strings that they just had sitting there. You never see that anymore, but they would literally have like 10 of them sitting in the store. And my buddy at the time worked at Guitar Center, and he would just go in the computer, and like enter in the lowest price until it started rejecting it. So I think I got that first 7-string brand new for like $700 or something like that, which
nice.
They're supposed to be like $1,200.
$100 a string.
Not too bad, right?
Not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Having a homie at Guitar Center is the shit. We all had a homie at Guitar Center.
Paul from Origin.
Shout out to Paul Ryan from Origin, dude.
I just said we won't mention his name because I was just about to say how he hooked us up just that way.
Dude.
Paul, get the fuck on this podcast, dude.
It's not like the olden days though at Guitar Center, you know.
No.
Shout out to Brandon from Las Lucy. This is his drum set. He's my Guitar Center friend. He hooks it up. So
nice.
Yeah, we'll get him on too for sure.
Sick.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Raul from $700 7-string. So you bought it just because it was there and you got a good fucking deal on it, and you're like, all right, I
always wanted one, you know.
So were you already like, so that's what I'm saying. So like with vinyl, like you obviously wouldn't need a 7-string, but like, were you doing crazy shit on was it a 5-string you were playing in vinyl, or was it just
it was a 5-string?
5-string, and
or maybe a 6-string at that.
You're already into the tapping shit, the crazier tapping shit at that time.
Yeah, I mean, I got into that like around the time I started playing. I mean, the first time I heard Stu Hamm, basically.
Yep.
You know, I totally nerded out on that when I was.
Is that because you started with the stand-up bass? Is that more make you inclined to play like that, or no?
No, I don't think so.
All right, I'm the novice. I'm the novice asking questions for all the other novices.
No, Stu Hamm, that bass solo he did, you know, on that album, The Urge. Remember Stu Hamm, The Urge? That was like. My dad had that album when I was a kid, and that one bass solo he does with like the Snoopy, the Peanuts,
Linus and Lucy.
Yeah. That actually, like, I remember as a kid, that was like one of the first albums I ever got into. Like
for a kid, didn't that album come out in like '92?
I mean, I was 6 or no, I was 8. I was 8 when that came out. No, my dad had that album, and just like they have that song Lone Star with Eric Johnson, and I remember hearing that one live bass solo. It was like that he did it with Satriani for like years, you know what I mean? It'd just be like the bass solo section. But yeah, that was for me, when my dad was just always like, damn, this is the guy, you know, like when I was a kid. And that was the tapping stuff. Right? Yeah, the tapping stuff that he would do was definitely, he hadn't really heard anyone do anything like that before Stu Hamm. He was kind of like taking kind of a guitar approach to it a little bit on some parts, but some of it was the arpeggiated stuff, like on that solo. And I could see where you were influenced by that, because that definitely on a 4-string he was doing the, you know, he's doing like the over the hand stuff,
like more strings.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I took bass lessons for maybe like a year when I very first started playing, and I on my own had come up with like the tapping thing that was like a power chord, like dun dun, and then up here like a 4th, and you're actually playing like the same notes. So it's like you could be playing a power chord, and so I showed my bass teacher, like I figured that out on my own, and then he was like, "Oh, well, you need to listen to Stu Hamm. Like he does all sorts of stuff like that," and that's really how I started listening.
Definitely, that makes a lot of sense.
More of that, but yeah, I still have all Stu Hamm's solo albums and get the new ones when they come out.
Yep.
And I've been lucky enough to hang out with him and like see a bunch of his clinics, you know, where he's amazing. He'll sit there and like tell a story while he's playing before he actually does the song. And
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, we saw him live at Moe's Alley in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, we saw the B3 tour. It was with Jeff Berlin, Stu Hamm, and Billy Sheehan.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was
at Moe's Alley.
It was the G3, but it was a B3. You know what I mean? It was the bass.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that the place that was like right by where you guys lived?
Yeah.
Right there. It was right next door. So we just like imagine us showing up to that, like everyone just saw a bunch of dads there and stuff, and we just like, let's get wasted and walk 9 feet and go watch him and Jeff Berlin.
Well,
so they were like shushing us. No, Josh was.
We were fine, but we had one friend who was not fine. And he was so excited, though. He was like all stoked on it, but he was so loud and just blasted.
Like Stu Hamm would be doing a quiet bass solo, and fucking our buddy would just be in the back, like high five, like literally not in the back, like 6 people from the front going like, "Fuck yeah, this is sick!" Like high fiving, like and like taking over the volume of the bass.
Are you when you say your buddy is? Are you not mentioning his name? Because I think I just left and I come back and I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. Sturdy Josh Seitman.
Yeah, dude, he doesn't care.
He's clean, dude. What are you talking about?
No, he was our old merch guy. He's an awesome dude.
Awesome dude.
We love him to death. But
he's that one friend that always introduces you to new music. He's like, I want to give music to you.
He worked at Jeff, Streetlight Music. He was like the records. Streetlight Records down off Pacific Avenue. He was like the main dude there with all the metal and all the stuff. Yeah,
he had big plugs.
Yeah.
Totally.
So Stu Ham, so your bass teacher told you to start listening to, told you to start listening to him, correct?
Yeah.
So then from there, you basically like understood like an extended range bass would give you more opportunities to kind of do that arpeggiated tapping thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it was right before I joined Brain Drill. I was literally sitting on my patio in Boulder Creek, and I was having some scotch, taking some bong loads, and I just had this thought: on the 7th string, if I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you can see that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I was like, it'd be super sick, and it'd work perfectly, on a 7-string bass to do triplets, and it's all diminished, so it's like evil and death metal. And so that's how I started doing that like hand over hand thing that you see.
They should call that Hughell?
Hughell. That's exactly what we should call it. That's how I started doing that, and in Brain Drill it ended up going perfect, because Dylan does all those diminished sweeps, and it just went along perfectly, and that's how that whole thing came together.
Definitely.
So we're into the Brain Drill time right now, huh?
Were you in that band when they played the Death by Derby show at the Vets Hall in Santa Cruz?
Yeah, that was the first show that I played with Decrepit. That was that was a lot of fun. That was a great show.
I would have seen you there, Jeff. That would have been the first time I entered the scene.
Joseph was about 4.
How old were you?
I was 7 years old. No. I was 14 or I was 15. I think that happened in.
Nice.
Was that January 2005 or January 2006?
Totally remember, dude. Yeah, it was totally January.
I remember.
I worship the altar of that flyer every morning.
I just have like a vague memory of the stage, and that's it.
There was a huge storm, like the day before that. You guys remember this?
I just remember being cold.
It took down the power lines that you couldn't even drive to my house in Boulder Creek because it was way up this hill, and my van happened to be in the shop being worked on, and there was this huge tree that fell onto my driveway exactly where I would always park my van.
Damn.
And so, I clearly remember that whole day because there was that happened. So I couldn't even stay at my house. I had this ridiculously bad cold. And then I was doing a home and garden show in San Jose for my company. So it was just like, I was about to die, but I went to the show and just like drank a bunch of scotch and played, death metal and made the best of it. It all worked out.
Sick, dude.
Yeah, definitely. So that was probably like towards the early part of you being in Brain Drill, correct?
Well, I mean, I was only in the band for
6 days.
Not even 2 years. So that was probably like the beginning of 2008.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
That was wow.
That was right before Apocalyptic Feasting came out, and right around the time Diminishing came out, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, so.
Yeah, that was definitely. I remember like not even knowing some of the Decrepit songs all the way through, and I was like in the parking lot working them out with Matt. Like, shit, what happened? What do you do here? I was like completely freaked out. But thanks alcohol, just pushed me through it. Just do a little dig whatever, and just get through it. But no, that was seeing you guys. It was us, you guys, Inherit Disease, right? That was the show.
Inherit Disease, and I think what's the band from up north?
Was it we've
Embryonic Devourment.
Embryonic Devourment. There you go. Yep.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Previous.
So that was
we can all remember stuff. Remember tons of stuff, right?
Yeah, all kinds of things.
If we push like 5 heads together, we can.
No, I'll never forget that show either, dude. I mean, that was the first time I saw any of you guys live. So yeah,
sick.
That was awesome, man. So right after the Apocalyptic Feasting just came out, and then so you were with them for about 2 years.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wait,
we're going to.
Was that what tours have you guys done with Brain Drill? You did with Brain Drill?
We did a couple like mini tours and like smaller independent tours. I'm trying to remember who they were with. Burning the Masses, I know, did one of them with us, and those guys were great to hang out with.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember who else, but the big tour that we did was the Black Dahlia Animosity tour, and that was basically what ended Marco and I being in the band. So
yep.
But that was an amazing tour for sure, and it wasn't even that long, but it was crazy because it was one of those ones, it started and ended on the East Coast, so driving 40 hours before you even get anywhere that you're gonna play a show.
Yeah, that happened actually a lot. Those just with the Decrepit Birth and stuff. Just like it would be like, okay, well, we're gonna go tour with this new East Coast based band, so we're gonna start there, go all the way back around America, come back, and then just end there. So it's like you're just going like this.
It's the drives where you're like, holy shit, dude, the fucking sunset I've watched twice while we've been driving, dude.
Yep.
Those are where shit gets weird, dude.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And you guys ran into the classic,
really get tested.
The classic mistake, which we learned from you guys on that Brain Drill tour, was when you're in Michigan, those GPSs, instead of going around like under the lakes, it takes you above, which is Canada. So if you have if you have any like contraband or anything, you're like, whatever, we got like some little pot, whatever, we're chill. Like if you go, I remember like we were on tour Decrepit and we were like in that Michigan area, and I'm like, why are we going like north? I don't understand like why we're going north. And I was like, dude, we have to stop. Like, let's take a look at the map, and it was going to route us through Canada, then come back to New York or something. Yeah. Because that was the fastest way. Yeah, the fastest way. And I remember that was the whole story that people can look up with the Brain Drill thing, but that's why that happened, is because it routed you guys in Michigan through.
Way.
Yeah,
and the tour manager, it's not his job to wipe our asses, but he could have said, hey guys, if you just put this in your GPS, take you through Canada, you should watch out for that. But end of the day, if somebody would have given up their fireworks, we could have gone through Canada. Played that last.
Did something bad happen, or I don't know.
I think something might have happened, but okay. I mean, we could do like a 3-hour conversation about that. But
yeah. No, I mean, you guys can look it up if you guys want to talk about it.
Yeah, but basically, we got strip searched, and somebody was very unhappy about the fact that we got strip searched.
Yeah. Wow.
And
did they look in your butthole?
Sorry.
Well, see, the best part was like they made it clear, like, you're never going to be fully naked at any point, and we're not going to touch you at any point. And so, if you've ever been strip searched before, basically you bend over,
you gotta spread it.
You go on with your day.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny because, you're on tour, you probably smell like crap, and you pull down your pants, and these guys got to smell it, like deal with it and all that. So.
Yeah.
That's their problem, right?
Yeah. It's kind of funny for you, actually. It's like,
I think it's like maybe 3-4 days in between, probably.
Yeah.
How it is on
the showering.
That we did.
Yeah.
Especially being a man like that, man.
That tour actually got offered to you guys because Decrepit was on tour with Black Dahlia, and I know Brain Drill just got signed to Metal Blade, and Trevor and Brian both, like, I think it might have been me and Casey, they were like, do we want Odious to do the next tour? And so me and Casey, I called up Dan, was like, do you think you could like get ready? Because it's like in like 3 weeks or something when we get home. And Odious hadn't been practicing that much, so it was like, and he has his own life with work and stuff like that. So I was like, do you think we can make this happen, Dan? And he's just all, fuck, it's probably not, I can't do it. And we're like, okay, that makes sense. Because it was like basically like almost towards the end of the Black Dahlia Decrepit tour.
What year?
2007 or 6 or something. Something like that. So like basically, they were asking. They were asking us. They were like, can you do it? And I said no, but I said, Brain Drill is like a new band that's on your label. Like you guys should like take them out. That's basically what, because they basically wanted like they had Animosity already walked in, and they were like, okay, well, we want to bring you guys as like the opener. And I was like, well, Brain Drill's like the brand new up and coming band. And then we hit LA, and Brian Slagle from Metal Blade came with this humongous stack of Brain Drill things or CDs, and was just handing it to everyone, just going, this band's sick, but like hyping it to Old Black Dahlia and stuff. So I was like, you guys see, you guys should take them. And they were like, all right, we'll take them. And then the band didn't really last.
Yeah, stuff happens. You know what I mean?
It does. Yeah.
Totally.
I think that
it's got to be a full melting pot of good shit in order for it to work. You know?
Yeah, and some people just don't want to tour, and I think that, you know, I've tried to be cool with Dylan. I mean, I haven't seen the dude in over a decade, but you know, we had a lot of good times together. You know, we were friends, and I have massive respect for his guitar playing and everything that he's done to build that band. And it was just unfortunate that didn't work out, but I don't think that he was in the mindset to really like be a touring musician and have that be a thing. And I think that was the reason they eventually got dropped from Metal Blade is they were turning down like every tour that they would offer. They would offer him all these good tours, and they just kept turning him down. And so I think they eventually were like, well, if you're not going to go out and promote what we put out, you know, we can't have you on the label.
Yeah. That's not the label to get signed to if you're not a live act that's ready to tour your ass off.
Yeah. But fun fact, on the last Brain Drill album, you know, Alex Bent was playing drums on it, and he's a good friend of mine. And so like I was talking to him, and he was like, oh, you know, I'm doing the new Brain Drill album. It'd be killer if you were on it. And then I was like, well, I'll hit up Dylan and see what he says. And so I hit him up, and he just said, no, thanks. It's already taken care of.
Who actually played on it?
I was totally like, I will do the bass of the album like for free.
Yeah. I think Ivan did it, right? Ivan.
No, he did it. Dylan did it.
Oh, he did. The last one. Okay.
2016-ish, something like that.
Yeah, that's right. It was actually not that long ago.
I mean, it was kind of like a comeback. Yeah, after most of this had all happened. Yeah.
So after Brain Drill, what did you jump into?
So basically Reciprocal was like right after that, because we were on one of the smaller tours with Brain Drill, and the guys in Reciprocal came out and like brought us a bottle of Crown, and we just hung out and, you know, like drank, and they're really cool dudes. And so the second I wasn't in Brain Drill, Jacob, the singer, hit me up, and I was like, oh, I'd be interested in that. You know, like these guys are cool dudes. I like their music. And, you know, but they're based out of LA. So, you know, it was a cool thing to just jump into. And we did that first album pretty immediately after that. I mean, it was probably, you know, like the Brain Drill thing ended in March, and I recorded the Reciprocal album like in July or something like that. So it's pretty immediate.
So explain that style of Reciprocal, because actually I've heard it a few times, but it's been a while. What style was Reciprocal?
It was like technical death metal. So, I mean, there's a lot of insane time signatures, a lot of just, I don't really know what band to compare it to. But if you'd ever seen us live or seen the drummer has like this 20-piece drum set. You know what I mean? Dude's got like 20 cymbals on his drum set, and he would use every single one. And I would compare him to like Animal. You know, he was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was a hard thing to keep together because we were all so far apart. And we eventually did a tour that was put on by ourselves, and it kind of misplaced everyone when we went out on that tour. Like they lost their jobs. Some, you know, they moved out of where they were living, and it kind of just messed everything up. And then right before we were going to record the next album that I actually wrote a lot of the material for was when I got the call from Barnes to join 6 Feet Under. And, you know, I listened to 6 Feet Under like when I was in high school. I had a buddy that was really into them, and I liked that earlier stuff, but I really hadn't paid attention to them in many years. And so I didn't really know anything about it. I just randomly got a call from Mike Faley from Metal Blade, and he was like, I just wanted to call you about 6 Feet Under. Are you interested? You know, they're looking for a bassist. You know, if you are, I'll have Chris give you a call. And I was like, holy shit. Oh, okay. And so like 5 minutes later, I'm talking to Chris, and I really didn't know that much about him. You know, I knew he was a singer of Cannibal Corpse, singer of 6 Feet Under, and he was just a super nice guy. We're just like talking on the phone, and he's making me this crazy offer and saying, oh, we're already going to play Wacken this summer. And it was like my dream to play. I was like, what the fuck? So it was just like that, you know, and they got Kevin Talley playing for him, who's, you know, was one of my favorite drummers. And
that's sick.
It happened very quickly. And it was weird because, you know, you fight for all these positions and all these bands. And then I got like, you know, one of the godfathers of death metal just calling me up saying like, I really want you to be in my band, even though I've never met you or like really don't know anything about you. And that's pretty much just how it happened.
And 6 Feet Under is like humongous in Europe, right? Like when you guys play Europe, it's like a different animal. It's like a Disgorge in Indonesia or something. It's like a people like they latch on. 6 Feet Under is like a big, like humongous deal out there, like headlining. Like, so when you played Wacken, like how high were you up on the bill? Were you guys pretty high up?
Wacken. We were pretty high up on the bill. We were on, you know, like there's the two main stages. I don't know, it's like a black stage and some other stage. I don't know what it's called exactly. But I remember it was us, and then I don't remember who was before us, but basically us, then Testament was right after us, then Cradle of Filth, then somebody else, and then Scorpions' final show.
No.
Yeah.
And if you know that they've played tons of
they've
tours.
played a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this was like their final show, and like they had the whole backstage, like they had sculpted the Scorpions into the bushes behind the backstage, and like they had this huge area for themselves. It was a big deal.
That's probably the biggest German band, right? Scorpions, for like a rock metal band. That's the biggest one. It's like them and like, I guess you say Rammstein now probably, but
right.
Yeah.
But no, that was huge. It was 75,000 people. It was in the prime time, and there was a huge storm right before that. So the entire place, the campground where you're watching the show from, is just mud. So people got like trash bags taped to their legs, so they can even just walk through without getting crushed by everything. But you can go on YouTube and look up 6 Feet Under Mud Pit 2012. And there's some cool videos of people like just rolling around in the mud, throwing mud at each other.
One thing actually I've always wanted to know, because now that you bring that up, because you see like bands play those big festivals and stuff where it starts raining, like what as a band on stage, if it's like going to be raining really hard, like what do you have to prepare for? What's like, what do the sound guys tell you? Like what do you have to like look forward to or not forward to?
No one's told me anything.
Yeah.
But,
it's like, get up there, asshole.
The stage is covering you. You know what I mean? It's not like an open stage where it could rain directly on you. If the rain was coming at, you know, a direction, I guess it could hit you. But I've had it rain a little bit during festivals like that, and never had it really like get me wet or anything like that. So
I was wondering like with the electronics and stuff, if it could like fuck up, like if it's like rain hits the bass or something, like could it fuck it up, you know? Or
I was gonna say, I just remember from that festival that Ola was in 6 Feet Under at the time, and his wife and his father-in-law came to that show.
Ola England.
And so they were leaving, you know, afterwards. We got on the bus to go leave, and they had to like go to get to some shuttle, and they were walking through a campsite to get to this shuttle, and I guess Ola's wife was like literally waist deep in mud.
Jesus,
to get
like
to
quicksand.
The shuttle that they had to get to. So this is like what the campers are dealing with, you know, at these festivals. So people always talk about festivals like that. And like, I would not want to go to that as a spectator and go camp in some muddy, freaking insane thing.
Imagine like being like from here and like flying out there, and then that happens. Like, like you finally get there, like you've been your whole
thousands of dollars,
all the travel, everything to get to Wacken, and you're like stuck in the mud.
Like, stuck in the mud. You got to shit in a fucking German porta potty.
Oh god, those porta potties is probably pretty brutal.
Yeah. All that stuff.
Well, shout out to Ola. I love that.
Yeah,
dude.
Ola. Ola's been crushing it, man. I mean,
YouTube is off the hook.
Doing great, man. It looks like, you know, and He's just nonstop working though. You can tell all the videos and stuff he puts out.
Yeah. His sense of humor is fucking fun. He's just got this funny sense of humor about him too. That's like really good.
So he plays in The Haunted now?
Yeah, he plays in The Haunted.
So Joel, don't we have a story about that? Like, was that you?
Oh, we played. He wasn't in the band, but the At the Gates brothers were in it, and they had the original singer from the first album, and that's kind of a shitty story, but so you got me going.
Oh, maybe it's a different story I'm thinking of, because the one I'm thinking of isn't.
No, I'll go into it because I'm like
in a good way.
I'm a big, like, the first 3 albums, like Made Me Do It, and then the one after. What's the one after that? I forget what it's called. But remember they were kind of pushing kind of the new metal boundaries of. I mean, what I was hearing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm making this up and was being like a elitist little kid about it. I think that's probably more what it was. But I was like sitting there. I mean, we played a show and like had the At the Gates brothers like watching us like on the side. We were just like freaking out. Like I was like, dude, that's like the reason why I'm like, that's like where I started, is these guys are just watching us like over the balcony at the Medley in Montreal. And
that's what it was.
So I'm all freaked out. And but anyways, later on, I'm drinking, so I'm gonna tell the story. So we were me and Casey were on the balcony next, and I was like, I whispered over to Casey. I was like I love their new or their old stuff. It's like my favorite shit. Some of the shit that I learned all of Made Me Do It all the way through on guitar, like, and then One Kill Wonder on guitar, and like I was like super into it. And I whispered to Casey like their new stuff isn't. I really don't like their new stuff very much, but I did that whole thing. And right as I said that to him, they put a spotlight on us in the medley on the fucking balcony.
Like,
and the singer
like,
walked. The singer goes like, "You guys want to hear some new stuff? Thumbs up or thumbs down?" And I was like. And it's 2,000 people, like, sold out the medley.
What did we do? I don't even remember.
I said thumbs up. Dude.
Yeah, we're like,
I'm not gonna do thumbs down.
Yeah, no, we're all like, no.
I just got done saying timing, dude.
I know. I was trying to be like the elitist little fucking shithead.
So trippy.
Yeah, I know. And I was
we were the only ones up there too.
Their new stuff sucks, dude. Yeah, play some more.
Like literally spotlight on us.
We were just like backstage, like trying to watch it, like
yeah. It was fucking funny.
We were like, yeah. Like right after he said that, that's what it was, dude. I remember that. I was all like, whoa.
That's the universe saying quit being a dick, dude.
I know. I got called out by the universe right there.
Totally, dude. That's funny.
But no. But Ola England and Keith Merrow and stuff like that, those guys are
those guys are all amazing.
I mean, Jeff, you played with probably Keith Merrow, right? Have I seen videos of you playing with him at NAMM and stuff?
We did a thing at NAMM,
yeah.
Nice,
and like with like
Keith's amazing.
Yeah, and Jeff Loomis, right? I saw you play with.
Yeah, he did one song with us. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, dude,
that's crazy.
That guy's another outer space guitarist, dude. That guy is.
But it was funny because he just jumped in and did that one song with us, and he's got a lead on the song, and he's going into the lead, and his guitar is just way too quiet. Like, you can go watch the video of it.
Oh, really?
It was way too quiet. And he's totally like looking back at like the amps and like somebody back there, like, what the fuck? You barely hear what's going on.
What year was it? What NAMM?
2013, I think.
Okay, I'll look for it.
The Seymour Duncan booth.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff is one of the premier bass entertainers at NAMM. I mean,
I saw you there at NAMM. Do you remember that? A few years ago, 2018. I rolled in with my friend Quana from Fields of Elysium, and we watched your solo set.
I know Jeff's like, nice. I've met 10 people in my life, so
what booth was it at?
I don't remember if it was. I don't know if it was a booth. It was like in an enclosed space within.
It was at the Korg booth.
Yeah. Okay, that was it. Yeah.
So you were like the two metalheads actually watching me.
Literally, yeah. I was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was so hungover at that. I was just like, I just want to go home.
Is it always at the Anaheim Convention Center? Right there.
It was like a 20-minute drive from my house to NAMM. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I was just like, I
totally remember that. Yeah.
I was like the guy coming to NAMM, like I had like every day mapped out, like we're gonna go to this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy.
And you guys ever hit the pizza press across the street from that spot?
No, I mean, I don't remember.
Pretty dope.
But yeah, and like Jeff was like, you were playing at like early, and I was just like, all right, this is where we're starting off. Like Jeff, And yeah, it was not a lot of people there because it was early and like it's NAMM, but it was super sick. And you just like played all your solo shit and we're like, fuck yeah, like Jeff's the best. So
speaking of solo did you see the guy that played before me there?
No, I don't remember if I did.
There's this guy that plays a 2-string bass and he plays it like upside down. I don't know. You might have seen like some viral videos of this dude, but I'm all hungover. I'm like, this guy in the 2-string bass is about to show me up. What am I doing? I better go home now.
Oh shit!
How thin is the head? The neck of 2-string bass.
Well, it's a 4-string bass. He just only puts 2 strings.
Oh, okay. Kind of like fucking what's his name from Sepultura?
Max Cavalera.
Yeah. With his
also, dude, Jeff
strings or something.
4 strings, yeah.
Nice.
I wanted to say thank you very much because you got me into the 2019 one on the Dark Glass booth. That was a great time, man.
No problem.
Yeah, that was awesome. I had a belligerent time.
Yes, I remember seeing you there.
Since we're hopping around the timeline, I wanted to mention, Jeff, the time that you actually introduced yourself to me, and I don't expect you to remember this, but it was a show that's been brought up on the pod many times. I wonder if anyone else can guess which show it was that you were like, "Hey, I'm Jeff," and
I'm trying. You want us to guess?
That's a lot of information.
Was that like a Bay Area show?
Yeah, it was Bay Area.
What is it? Are you playing with To Violently Vomit? No,
this is a lot earlier. Anthony, you were there.
I was there.
Shit. It
was a Servile tour, man.
Oh shit!
The Pacifica show.
Sick, dude. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Winters.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure you introduced yourself to me because you were at that first kickoff show of that tour with Archaic and Severed Savior in Pacifica. Does that sound right? That you were there? Because I totally remember meeting you, but
if I'm not mistaken, you have some pretty good footage of that show on YouTube. I think it was your account that I saw it on. Or am I wrong, Jeff? Did you take some footage of Severed that night?
I feel like I did. And like I had this, I made another account that I was going to post, like, because I would always be at these shows or on tour. And I was like, I'll just film some stuff. And then I just never did anything else. I think I posted like one video.
It's probably the only footage from that show, but it was a dope show. Really? We packed like 160 people into like a 90 capacity place.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Out of the place, dude.
Yeah, my buddy Nick, who was in Mucous Membrane, we just went to Tahoe last weekend together, and we were talking all about that show.
Sick.
And like, first time seeing Anthony was Severed, and like, the only time I've seen you was Severed and Archaic. He remembered every band on that bill. I think Cyanic played, and was that Ontogeny maybe?
Yeah, okay. Ontogeny played for sure. I remember them.
I think Ontogeny might have been on all the Cali dates. They even went down south SoCal. And
Shout out to Nick.
Yeah.
Yo, Nick might be Twitch streaming.
Nate.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Who's Nick, dude?
My bad.
Nick now. What's up, Nick?
Oh, Nick Barker.
Yeah, he's talking about it. I'd love to see that, dude.
Nate. Max from Anomalous. Is it Max, the other guitarist?
Yep.
He did his first Twitch stream. Did anyone hop on that? It was
I did.
Oh, I was there too.
Like
20 or 30 minutes of it. Dude, he's back and he's still shredding, dude.
And he's still got that same that Les Paul, like he's just shredding on, like for like that crazy death metal stuff. And just like shredding stuff.
He was soloing over some Holdsworth shit, if I'm not mistaken. And he was rocking a Holdsworth shirt, and it's funny because it's like we're all older. His garage door opens, his kids are spilling in from the neighborhood kids. He's still like, "Oh, dude, what are you guys doing?" Just like I'm just like, dude, this guy. Those Anomalous records are amazing. So it's like, come on, dude, we're some more of that. Let's see it. If you're still doing it in the behind the scenes,
yeah.
Right. So another thing that I could add into the history, right after Brain Drill, the Nate from Anomalous hit me up and was like, "Oh, you want to play on the new Anomalous album?" This is before they put out the one Omnivalent. Probably said that wrong.
Yeah,
that's right.
And so I went out to Nate's house and met everybody, and it was when I lived in Boulder Creek still, and he lived in San Francisco, so it was like an hour and a half drive. And so they start teaching me some riffs, and I'm like, this is freaking insane. And so I'm like, do you have tabs? Do you have anything for this? And they're like, no, we don't have anything. Like, basically you would have to come out here and learn all the songs with us. And they're like, there's no tabs. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's really going to happen.
I remember,
his episode, they got into that, or he got into that a little bit about how they wrote that album. It's like everybody's contributing everything, right?
Yeah, the singer played too. So it was crazy because Tim, the singer, is also like, it was like everybody wanted to have a say on every note I played too. So I was kind of like, I'm not going to like put in this much work for you guys to just tell me exactly what to do and probably bury the bass in the mix. But no, that album is so insane. And
it's insane, dude.
And you know, Marco played on that, and everybody on the album just did it.
It's in my truck right now. Still, I still got a physical copy in my truck right now.
That's a fucking gem for sure.
Oh, Nate's one of those guys. When I first met him, he was playing like bass, and I was like I met him through him playing bass and stuff. So I was dating his cousin at the time, and they're like, "Oh, you know Nate," and like brought me over to his house. He's all, "Hey, you want to play guitar?" I was like, smoked like this crazy pot that like made me all awkward and just like wanted to hide in the corner.
That was what happened to me too.
Yeah, exactly. And like I was like, "No, I'm too high to play." He's like, "Well, let me show you a song," and he played it for me. I was like, "Jesus Christ, man, this is insane!" Like he played like a 9-minute epic for me. I was like,
I think
like,
everybody needs to know about Nate, needs to know about Ontogeny, needs to know about Anomalous, dude. It's like
one of those hidden gems.
These are hidden gems that a lot of people should know about, you know, especially Ontogeny, dude. That newest record is just fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like, it's all DIY, like, and that's probably why like most people haven't gotten in touch with it, but still it's like I got mad respect for those dudes. Mad respect.
Yeah.
Nate and I are supposed to jam now. He saw one of my videos and hit me up, so
boom.
See what happens.
I don't like them at all.
Dude, we're building relationships with this shit. Putting musicians together, making new shit.
Yeah.
So Jeff, how long have you been with 6 Feet Under? Well, I'm trying to get it back on track a little bit.
So it's been almost in February. It's going to be 10 years.
Jesus.
Damn.
Decade of aggression.
Damn. Bro. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's very cool. So, I mean, basically, like, I was so proud to see you. Like, we were talking about Vakken earlier, like, because, you know, I've known you for like this, you know, San Francisco scene and stuff like that, playing in kind of, Brain Jewel is pretty big, but playing in like these bands. And I'm like, dude, Jeff's like an amazing bass player. Like, he needs to be in something big. And then I would see those behind the fucking crowd shots of you playing for like fucking, you know, 70, 80,000 people. And I was like, fuck yeah, there it is. That's what he.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's where he should be.
So to bring up something else that I didn't know if I wanted to bring up is, you know, that I did a tour with Rings of Saturn.
No, I didn't. Let's get into it.
So that was 10 years ago. So 2011, I did a tour with Rings of Saturn. It was the roughest tour I've ever done in my life. I mean, it was like 40 something days in a van that basically there was 2 captain's chairs, and then you had a bed in the back that was meant for 2 people that 3 people would be on. Sometimes there would be merch on that bed that you had to be on top of. So basically at the end of that tour, I was like, I'm never going to tour again.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to play. I'm like, I'll do my solo stuff. I'll play bass for fun, but I'm never going to tour again. Like, fuck that. And so it was literally 3 months or something like that after that I got that call from Chris, and he's like, oh, we're going to, you know, you're going to be on a bus. You're going to have people setting up all your stuff for you. And I was like, are you kidding me? You know, like, okay, I'll do that. But I thought it was the end, you know, and that tour was really rough, but at the same time, it was really fun because it was with Decapitated, Decrepit Birth, and Flesh God Apocalypse.
I saw that show. I saw that out in Milwaukee because I was in college out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Chase, we didn't stay at your place.
It's funny. I didn't live in Milwaukee, but my friend did, and we like stayed at his house. And then I hit up Chase, who was playing with Decrepit, and he's like, dude, can I get a shower at your friend's house? And so we totally had Chase come over and get a shower. And then we ended up going backstage with Like I remember mostly hanging out with the Flesh God guys and Decapitated guys. I didn't know you personally yet, otherwise, but I remember seeing the set and I was like, oh, that's Jeff, who's like from Brain Drill at the time, is how I knew you. And so I guess, dude, I've seen you at 4 shows all in different bands. I was trying to figure out if you were on the Brain Drill tour I saw, but I mean, dude, I'm a big fan of like a lot of the Rings of Saturn material, most of the later stuff. But I was like always stoked that they found like incredible bass player. Well, not always. Sometimes found incredible bass players to play their shit.
Well, they haven't had a bass player for a long time, right?
Yeah, I realize as I'm talking, I'm like, wait, they
found an incredible MacBook Pro.
Well, the funniest thing was like, they had Sean Martinez, who's in Decrepit Birth.
Decrepit, that's right.
Yeah,
he's an amazing bassist, and when he left the band, they were like, oh, we're not going to get a new bassist because bass is just so hard live to mix, or like some stupid thing like that. And it's like, well, dude, drums are the hardest thing to mix. Like if you want to use that excuse, then use a fucking, pre-recorded drums. But yeah, whatever.
That's that Lucas guy is very good at getting people risen to his posts and what he says, because he says some pretty outlandish stuff sometimes that get everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, but it's almost like he's almost using the any press or bad press is good press kind of thing. I feel like is what he's using.
Give me an example of what he says, because I don't.
Well, I mean what he just said. He's just basically like shitting on bass, and then he said something recently about how he's one of the best guitar players, and I don't know.
That was like 2 or 3 years ago, but he said that to like get the internet astir or something, and like
I could tell.
It was like, bro, that's like something that you would say. Like I know that's totally something you would say. But I'll give respect to him because he is a smart kid. He's a real smart kid. He built that band. He makes a living off of that band, and
definitely.
And some of the best people have played in that band, and they've gone on to launch their own projects, which are super sick. So it's kind of just a staple of the tech death world, and you got to have some respect for how they've managed to make a business out of it, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely a smart kid.
Yeah. That's I mean, the last controversy with him was someone going like, oh, he doesn't, like he's being overdubbed while he's playing right? That was like
that's not the last. There's newer ones.
Right. Oh, there's newer ones.
I'm old.
Oh, let's get.
Well, the best part
the last time you
like,
cared. The last time you cared.
That's old, dude.
Argued that there was like a live clip, and he's arguing it's like, oh, it's the monitors, and it's like, so you have pre-recorded tracks live that are going through your monitors that's so loud that you can hear it over what you're playing. Like that makes no freaking sense on its own.
Yeah.
It's like a rapper rapping over a CD, dude. And if he fucks up, you could still hear him in the background.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to be a live band, be a live band. Don't have any backing tracks. Whatever.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree, dude. Totally agree.
I mean, Avenged Sevenfold.
Click track is okay, obviously, but no.
Yeah.
Shit playing, nothing for the audience to hear.
Right, exactly. But why would you have a monitor blasting in your face that has
I agree.
A fake backing track?
I think it depends on the context too. Like if you're like a shredding band and you have like a shredding like backing track that's not live, like that's pretty silly,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think like that's what inners are for, though, right? I thought that's what like in-ear monitors are for, like so you don't have to blast it to the crowd.
I mean, like you were like doing like a guitar line, there was like a synth like playing it like the same. Like
you're talking different things,
Like it was in like on like live like on the click track like with the band, but like no one's playing it live. It's just like this like matching the like arpeggios.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
Well, I know Matt like from Decrepit basically was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna have like for solos and stuff like a backing rhythm guitar track. Like obviously you can play the backing rhythm guitar track, but he just didn't want to like deal with people coming in and out anymore. So he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna program this fucking backing track. It's not like a lead track, it's just like a
right, because they're playing to a clicker already anyway, right?
Exactly. So it's like it's not, you know, taking away or giving extra. It's just like, it's just kind of holding, it's a placeholder for the background, like rhythm, so he could solo over and everyone can hear
Who's the guitar players that can pull that off live with just one and say no rhythm? That's
Pantera.
I was gonna say,
but if he had more money, he could just like hire like these dudes that hide in tents, like in the back, you know, just like play the parts, but like nobody knows they're in the band. They're just like playing.
There's bands like that. I've heard of.
There's a lot. I mean, that's like a real thing in
like even like Korn and stuff. Well, now I said it again. Like they have would have for a while when one of the guitar players quit or something. They had a guy like playing like in the back or something, like that wasn't on stage but like playing. You know,
dude, bands do that all the time. There's like tents in the back for like backup vocals. Like Ozzy's got backup vocals and people, like he's done it for years. You know,
and
you don't even know that he's on the tour. It's like
before click tracks and all that stuff.
I'm sure Iron Maiden, I think, has a keyboard player that they never let go on the stage. He's like backstage somewhere playing the keyboard parts.
It's just Eddie back there, dude. Like that's all, you know, that's all they know him as. It's funny. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So on top of all this, so you're doing 6 Feet Under, but you also, I've noticed, I mean, obviously you do your own solo stuff. So where did the inspiration come to start doing that? And, you know, you're basically like a brand ambassador with Warwick and probably a bunch of plugins and stuff now that I'm not even aware of. But where did that come from?
I've always, I mean, for like 20 years, I've been trying to do solo stuff, you know what I mean? And so once the first solo EP that I did, I Came to Hate, was with Nate from Anomalous. I actually recorded with him.
I got the physical copy of that from you.
Which, you know, it was kind of the first thing. So I don't know. I'm not 100% like loving the way that it is now, you know, because I've done so much stuff since then. It was cool at the time, but you know, it was a different era of technology, I guess, as well. But I've always just wanted to do some bass solo stuff. And in the beginning, it was kind of like, oh, I can do all this stuff with layered bass and we don't even need any guitar. We're just going to do it with bass. And then on the last album, I incorporated playing guitar as well. And I actually have a new album in the works that I honestly don't even know what I'm going to call it. It's probably not going to go under my name. It's probably going to go under a band name. But I have it's a concept album and there's like 20 people on it. Tons of amazing vocalists and stuff like that. So I've been working on that for like 3 years and,
cool.
So maybe one day it's going to see the light of day, but I have no reason to rush any of that.
Yeah, dude. You got a little spot on there for me.
I do.
Nice. Dude. We'll talk about it.
Let's talk about it later. And then, you know, I've been doing some session work as well in the past couple of years. And this new band, Sony Vinos, I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it's basically myself, Marco, and then these two guys from Europe who are super shredders. And it's this guy, Ryan Batten, is the main guy that created the band, I guess. And he's one of the guitarists and he also does all the vocals. And so we're just getting
finished. They young bucks? Or are they in any other projects that anybody might know?
The one of the guitarists, Steph, he was in Hanker. I'm not sure if he still is, but they're all Europeans. They're not that young. They've definitely done some cool stuff in the past.
Nice.
And I posted a video on Facebook. I think I posted the full video like a week or two ago of my bass playthrough for one of the songs, but
it's super sick. I saw that.
Oh, okay.
It's insanely technical. And he's just really spared no expense in getting the whole thing together and getting the production that he wants. And so that's 9 songs that are just insane technical. And then he's got Francesco from Flesh God Apocalypse that's going to do some of like the in-between stuff, arrangements and stuff like that. So it's really nice. It's going to be an amazing album once it's totally done, and the production is just top notch. It's some guy in Europe that's doing the final mix that is it's the most clear death metal production I've ever heard.
Sick.
So hopefully that's going to see the light of day in the next couple months or so.
Nice.
Hell yeah. That's exciting, dude. That sounds like right up my alley.
What's the style? It's just
it's technical death metal, and you know, it's one of those things with that. They sent me to learn it. They sent me the Guitar Pro. Yeah, Guitar Pro. It's not Power Tab anymore. It's Guitar Pro.
Yeah, Guitar Pro. Yeah,
it's got like both the guitar parts, and it's almost like classical music. You know, when you see the back and forth and the arrangement between them, and then I add in the bass to that, and it's insane. Yeah, it's definitely next level stuff. So I'm excited for that to finally be unleashed.
Kind of a plug for you. Are you still? Because I remember you a year or two ago, where you offer your services for bands that need a bass player, correct? Like if someone needs, I remember seeing that video a while ago. I don't know if it's still going on, but
yeah, I do session work. So I mean, like I just did some stuff for Demon Stealer from India. Yeah, I randomly do session work when people hit me up and want to, you know, go with it. I'm doing one track on the new Necropathy. I probably said that wrong. Ollie Morgan from Australia. He's got this insane project. And so he's kind of taken different people on every song. So he's got that's another album when it comes out. It's just going to be like shredalicious.
So I just got a random question for you right now. Is out of all the session work, what was the most difficult project to get prepared for?
So Sony Venus, the one I was just talking to you about, that was the hardest. And I probably put into those 9 songs, I probably put 100 hours into recording it. And you know, it's funny. I've done a fair amount of session work, and sometimes someone will say like, "Oh, I didn't really like this part. Like, could you just change this one part?" Or you know, they'll have something small that they want corrected. And so after I was done with this, they totally dissected it and came back with 2 pages of corrections.
Whoa.
And it would be very exact. It'd be like the, you know, super fast technical death metal would be like this one little note that you played right here sounded slightly out of tune or something like that. And so I went back and spent, you know, 8 hours correcting everything, and then they'd come back with a couple more. But, you know, at the end of the day, they're making it perfect. And, you know, I'm totally proud of what we all did on that album. And it goes when you get picky like that. But it was at the time when I was getting all those corrections, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's kind of like what you're setting yourself up for doing that, like offering session work is like when you give it back to people, they could be like, well, could you do this differently? Or like, shit. Well, you know, come on.
Well, that's what you have to do with session work. Like, I've hired Hannes Grossman to do some songs, and you know, he was like, "Oh, I 100% make sure that you're happy with everything I do." You know, that's the way you have to be. You can't be like, "Oh, you're going to pay me this, and you're going to take what I give you." You know.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Kind of like how we did with Jarzenbeck. We just give him money, and he gave us the thing. We're like, "Sick, dude. This is exactly what we want." No edits, no nothing. Like we just got a Jarzenbeck solo, dude. It's chill.
Right.
Take it how it is.
It could be all off key and like wrong notes. We're like, dude, that's sick, dude. It's fucking sick.
I remember like talking with Derek Roddy like back in those days when like the Blotted Science stuff was starting to come up, and after was it Chris Adler, whatever, was going to do drums or whatever.
Right.
And then like it was going to be Roddy after that. You remember that?
I think so.
Yeah, it was going to be Derek Roddy. And
that's
he was,
that's correct. I looked that up after Anthony called me out for getting the Adler timeline wrong. So yeah.
Speaking of Adlers and snakes and Roddy and cobras and all that. Anyways, Derek Roddy is a friend of mine, and I love that guy, and he's one of the best drummers in the world, as you know, for death metal and everything. And yeah, like he was like talking about that whole thing, and like basically he like told me that like it was like doing the Blotted Science stuff, like, you know, like Jarzenbeck wanted like no ride cymbal. It was like all hi-hat stuff, and he was like, no fucking ride cymbal, like what the fuck, you know? So just,
and he's a ride cymbal type of drummer. If you listen to Lamb of God,
you should have gotten Lars to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't, Lars like no ride, but like Roddy like was like, dude, like he like expressed that to me, like so that was a creative difference. That's all. But it's just you know, it's art. It's like, you know,
yeah, some people want it exactly the way they want it.
So it either works out or it doesn't. It's all good either way, you know.
Right.
So
yeah.
but he has like tons of respect. He was just saying like, yeah, it wasn't like my thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it's hard not to respect Jarzenbeck. He's like insane,
right?
Like,
yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah,
so. Definitely. So basically, you said that new band that you're doing with like dude from Flesh God and stuff. So basically, what's going on right now? Would you ever consider touring in another band besides 6 Feet Under, or are you locked and loaded?
You know, like a lot of people, you know, I got a family and, you know, all these responsibilities. So it's hard to go on tour with a band that, you know, I got to get paid. And 6 Feet Under is really cushy in the fact that we don't tour for, you know, 40 days straight. A lot of times we'll tour for a little over 2 weeks. We'll do some fly out festivals, stuff like that. So it's really perfect for my situation, to be honest. And you know, my son's 6 years old. I don't want to be missing out on like,
totally, dude,
you know, half a year of what's happening there.
Formative years, dude.
Yeah, it's the most important thing. And you know, right now it's like, you know, kids would be like your best friend, and once they turn into teenagers or whatever, maybe they're gonna be like, this old man's not cool anymore.
Yeah, dude, that's definitely a fear that I have, dude. That's why you got to do it now, dude. And don't be pushed. That's what I do as a parent. Don't be pushy with anything, you know.
Yeah.
And a 6-year-old, it's like you really get the full on personality. Like there's that's when you really understand who your child is going to be, you know, how your kid is. 5, 6 years old.
Yeah, complete honesty too. You know?
Complete honesty, 100% honesty.
No filter.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. Most definitely. But that's what makes you check yourself because of your children. You know, it's like, oh, dude, he's that honest right now. I need to be that honest in certain situations, you know.
Yep. Totally.
All right.
So do you do any like I mean, so you said that, you know, 6 Feet Under allows you to just be kind of quick and just like you don't have to go in like these like commitments of 60 shows or whatever. So are you working? Like do you have an actual job? Yeah, you have to, right? You're in the Bay Area, you have to.
I've had you know, I do tile and grout work.
That's right.
I've been doing it as long as I've known any of you guys, and I've had my own company since 2004.
So you and Obi have probably had many a conversation.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And Mike, right? Mike, he did
Mike
flooring.
Does. He was doing a lot of tile for a while. Mike is like one of those guys that can do everything.
Yeah.
You could probably teach him how to do any fucking trade or anything in the world, and he would do it perfectly. He's just that guy.
Totally.
He's definitely that guy. But no, I've had a lot of conversations with Obi about tiling and stuff like that. But my company is more on the repair side, and it's actually just, I mean, I make a good amount of money just doing everything myself and not dealing with the headache of other people. And in the Bay Area, you can charge premium prices, especially with everyone's house value going up and
yep
trying to sell it. And yeah, it's been really busy. Really crazy.
Yeah, that's just how the Bay Area. I mean, one of our buddies, me and Anthony's buddy, literally became a plumber, and it's just like, oh, like he became a plumber, got his license and stuff. It's like, okay, 160 grand a year, boom, starting. It's like for a plumber, like, you know, like that's not like if you were to go to Oklahoma, it's like, all right, 60,000 a year. Like it's, you know, it's like it's literally like just jump. Like you have to pay for it.
Yeah, but to pay for rent here is like
that's what I'm saying. It's the cost of living. Yeah.
You kind of need that if you're not gonna have to fucking be worrying every month, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, I get customers like return customers from almost 10 years ago, and they're like, "Oh, you did this for me, you know, back in 2012 or whatever." And, oh, how come your price is so much higher? It's like, look at your house value. Look at how much everything costs. Are you kidding me? Like, if you don't want to pay, fuck off. I got plenty of other people that want to pay, you know, what it's supposed to cost. So,
yep, definitely.
That's it. But, you know, it's hard, especially living in the Bay Area. You can't make a living off of death metal.
That's a real good trade to have too, to have like to be in a band, you know, because you could do, you know, you're running your own company. You can take it and leave it when you can. It's not like you have to like kiss a boss's ass and be like, can I leave for tour? It's like, no, I make my own hours. Like I have my own clients. Like this is basically how it works. So that actually is like kind of a dream job for someone that wants to keep touring and doing it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Best of both worlds, dude. Get to have a family and you get to go fucking tour around every now and then.
Yeah.
You found that niche.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to tour like that, you know, but I got 3 kids, dude. You know, it's so hard to.
Got 3 kids. I didn't know, man.
Yeah, I got 3 of them, dude. So it's
bring them on tour,
dude. Anthony.
Just sell your house. That would be amazing to have like an RV that I just follow you guys in, dude.
Yeah, dude. Sell your house and move to Arkansas, dude.
Just buy an RV and we'll tour.
Buy a big travel trailer and you got it, man.
Yeah, there you go,
dude. That actually is enticing. If that ever were to be able to happen, for sure.
Get like
kids were going on tour.
Just like, yeah. Get like a $1 million like
drop them off at like
bus.
KOA RV places every
just like tour a bunch of Chuck E. Cheese's or something, dude.
Dude, I'll never step foot in that place, dude. That place fucking is terrible, dude.
Chuck E. disease.
Chuck E. disease, dude, for sure.
Chuck E. disease, that's what we call it.
That ball pit, dude. Jeez, that's sort of like where every disease comes from. That's probably where like
that's where COVID.
At our local Chuck E. Cheese, there's no more ball pit. There's no more like play area. It's all just games.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
There's less chance of diseases. But
yeah, and the pizza sucks. And
that's maybe. I think that's what I'm doing. I'm remembering how bad the pizza is, and that's why I'm saying fuck that.
I'm like, dude, like your job should be to please the parents so they stay there longer, and like. You want to? It's like Dave and Buster's has it down. It's like there's a bar, like and all these cool drinks, and all this like fun like fucking jalapeno rockers or the fuck
like good bar food.
Bar like drunken dumb food, and like they keep you there and they keep.
Dude, I've taken
that card.
But I've taken my kids to that place, and that place is awesome. We have fun. But dude, you look around and there's so many parents that are like stumbling around with their kids because they've been taking shots at the full bar. It's right next to the fucking arcade games that their kids are playing, and you're like, how are they got here somehow?
Yeah,
children with them. How are they going to get out of here? You know,
dude. Have you guys? There's this fucking meme I gotta show you. Or it's like a screenshot. I'm sorry, I'm just sharing screen. I'm just gonna read it out loud. I inject heroin into my arm that's scarred from times prior. My eyes roll back into my head as my manager pounds on my door, telling me I'm on in 5 minutes. Let's rock, I say as I grab my bass guitar, take a pull of whiskey, and get into my Chuck E. Cheese post-band costume.
Dude, that's like that person just summed up our episode right now.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good. Funny, dude.
It's bass related, so
bass related and
bass related. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I really of bass related all the time.
I definitely want to go down since Jeff, I mean, you're part of the original like group of us and stuff when we were kids and all that stuff, but Murray, I kind of want to go to a Murray gushing session. So Mersey. How did you you guys got a Mersey? How did you meet Murray, and how did like that was because I remember Murray almost introduced me to you. I can barely remember this, but Murray and you were kind of like the initial bass players in the whole Pound group that I ran into and stuff. So how did you meet Murray, and how did you ever fight him?
I originally met him. Well, the first time, here's another good story. The first time I saw Severed Savior, they were Christ Denied.
Mm-hmm.
And they opened the first Bloodletting tour, which was at the Pound with Deeds of Flesh and Disgorge. And that was actually the show that I met my wife at.
Sick.
I was in 2000. And so I
was just a fan too.
Yeah. So
I want to hear that story too, but go off on that. And then I want to hear how you actually met at that show.
So, well, you know, she was like Rob's sister, basically. So he introduced me to her at that show. And so I remember slightly seeing Christ Denied, and that they were, you know, a lot of times you see an opening band and it's like, oh, when's this going to be done? And it was like, wow, this is exciting. This is good. And I, of course, remember Dusty, you know, and his almost Frank-like chopping, you know, the hair and all that. But I don't think I met any of them. And then Mucous Membrane played a show at the Concord Depot with Deeds of Flesh, which was probably a year after that or something like that. And I think that's the first time that I really hung out with Murray and met all those guys. Although I could have met him at some random show before that.
Yeah.
You know, and barely talked, but that's the first time that we really hung out. And from then on, it seemed like all of us were kind of like in the same group. Like we'd have parties and everybody would be invited and we would all see each other at shows and all just hang out. But
it totally is a community, dude. That's what we built like we got lucky enough to be accepted in that family of people. And it was like the golden years, you know, like having the Pound as like a central hub for everybody. It was, I'm so grateful to have those years, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
So much fun. Yeah. So much craziness, dude. You were there the night that the dude tried to bring the gun into the Deed show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like the last Deeds of Flesh show, right?
That was when they definitely, well, yeah, somehow they falsely got connected to that guy and they were 86th for a while, forever. I guess they never played.
No, we
played
with Matt.
Oh yeah, they came back for bloodletting. That was like the first time they were.
Oh, that wasn't the bloodletting that you guys were on?
No, I was there just as a fan that night. That was actually a night that Murray, I probably already told this story. I think definitely told the story, but Murray fucking like was protecting me, my brother, Dan, his younger brother. And I was like, dude, this is the first time I really feel like Murray's a brother, dude. He's family. Like this dude really cares about us enough to where he like threw us in a corner and like was, what's up, motherfuckers? Like in his Adidas fucking, it was not the shell toes. He would wear the fucking, the Cholo style fucking Adidas. What are those called? Oh, I can't remember, dude. But he would always wear those. He had his flight jacket or whatever. Fucking love Murdoch, dude.
Yeah. After Rob passed away, and there was like a memorial show that actually we like raised money for the funeral and stuff. And Murray had a broken arm or wrist or something from like fighting or something.
Yeah.
And so he couldn't play. So I played bass for Severed Savior for like 2 shows.
Sick.
Because of that.
Nice.
And my Farah, who used to work at the Pound, her husband, Jake, just like a couple weeks ago was like, what's up with Murdoch? He's like, that dude used to always have a broken wrist or something from fighting someone.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're talking about something from like 20 years ago, dude. Like,
he was all about Brazilian jiu-jitsu and shit.
Right. Yeah.
I'd come at him, dude, and all of a sudden I'd be like, oh shit, my arm's up my back now, dude.
Yeah. Dude, and Murray was in that like training phase where he was just like the most like cut he's been and stuff, like running into that guy when he was like had a few drinks in him. Like that was something special. That guy definitely came at you gnarly, dude. I remember seeing him at Rock the Bells once, and he just fucking, I'm like sitting there all like smoking a fucking blunt that someone handed me for Snoop Dogg, and I'm just like I'm stoned and drunk, and I see him. He's like, "What's up?" And he runs full bore at me and just like tackles me on the ground, and we just like hug in the shoreline fucking grass.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's Murray on one, you know.
Dude, you're getting tackled by Murdoch during Snoop Dogg while you're smoking a blunt. That's a great story.
Yeah, that's pretty legit.
That's so good.
It's happened.
Didn't he like body slam one of our acquaintances?
Oh, Mike. Well, Mike was taking his.
You know what? I got that jersey. I'm gonna go put it on right now. I'm gonna go grab that. Murray sent me a second jersey, dude.
Dude.
Oh hell yeah, dude. The red one, the odious one.
Yeah, dude. I have that one too. I should go change right now.
Hell yeah, dude. Why not? Yeah, anyways, dude. Mike was being Mike in Mike Marinkovich. He was getting down all weird, and he decided, I don't know why he decided to start taking his pants off, but he started mooning us, and Murray was just not down with him, dude. So he literally just choked him out, and then I didn't see Mike for the rest of the set. I don't know where he went.
Damn.
I know.
I've heard all these stories about Murray like that, but I've never actually seen him be mean like that, or you know, like fight anybody. And
I think in all reality, he probably already knew who Mike was, and he wasn't really being crazy. But yeah, he definitely was. He had a lot of that fucking aggression when we started hanging out, for sure. But if you were a homie, you're all good. He would, when I say the arm up the back thing, he obviously was playing around with me. He wasn't trying to hurt me, you know. Right. There it is. What up, dude? Odious.
Yeah, shout out to
Mersey.
The sleeves too, man.
Dude, Jeff, you got one of these from him too, right?
Yeah, he sent me the second one.
Just recently. Yeah.
Just wanted to thank Murray for this.
That's amazing.
Awesome. You guys started talking about the different. You wanted the red one with the different things, and
dude, the logos on the back and shit. What's up?
Yeah, Murray's awesome. So
you got Jeff, there too.
Jeff, you got one too, right?
I got
one. Dude, it's
the
Cali Death fucking basketball team. We gotta actually play a game.
Right.
There's got to be a time.
When I posted mine, when's the actual game gonna occur?
Exactly.
Now it's got to be more like a tournament. I feel like there's more than enough.
Yeah,
for two.
A tournament.
It's like at least a 4-team setup going at this point. There's already a music video with friends of his, rappers, wearing their jerseys in the music video. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw that.
Dude's from Pacifica too. Yeah.
Yeah, really? Dude.
Yeah. Well, Murray lived in Pacifica for a while. It's actually Murray started coming to Pacifica because of us, and he ended up living here, dude. And so whoever he made friends with, obviously one of the dudes is a rapper, and he's close enough to get a Mersey.
Yeah,
Mersey, dude.
Jeff, I just want to make sure we hit anything else that you're playing, endorsing. I know you're doing some stuff for Dark Glass. I just got one of the neural plugins for them. I don't even remember which one, to be honest, but it sounds sick. And what are you playing for them, and what are you using from them?
So for neural, I really like the Omega plugin, the Soldano plugin. I think the Omega is probably the best one. The Fortin one's good. But actually, I just got the neural Quad Cortex.
Fuck yeah.
My wife actually got it for me for our anniversary.
Joel, you're here just in time.
I was like, damn, is it the fucking... Yeah,
I asked your question, basically.
I call it the flux capacitor.
Yeah. Nice.
But, so my wife got it for me for my anniversary, and the guys hooked me up with it as well. Lauren, works for Neural. He's the A&R guy for Dark Glass as well. He's a good friend of mine.
Fucking
nice.
So that's basically going to be my bass rig from now on. I don't need to bring a tuner. I don't need to bring any stupid pedal board with any crap, because I could basically profile my tones out of whatever I want and then send them directly to the soundboard, 4 of them, even if I want. So
I remember using the when the SansAmp was the big thing. This everyone used the SansAmp for there'd be times where we were on Summer Slaughter, these big tours and shit, and there's fucking 10,000 bands shit everywhere. It's just a fucking clusterfuck. It's too much. So I basically was like, well, the front of house is only hearing my fucking SansAmp. The bass rig is only for me and to hear and to push air on stage. There's no real reason for me to lug this 8x10 around with with a 150-pound head. No, I'm not. Basically, I'm just like fuck this. So I would take pictures of it. It'd be this little tiny pedal, and I'd go back to the audience. There's 2,000 people, and I'm like, this is my fucking rig. Everyone's got their fancy tones and sounds and whatever they want. I'm like, dude, I just have it come through my monitor and a little bit out of everyone's monitor, and it's fine. For those big stages, you don't really. I mean, it is nice to have that fucking air pushing. There's been times on tour with Suffocation and stuff where I'm playing out of Derek's rig where it's there's 3 8x10s or whatever, and 2 1,500 watt fucking Edens going through, and it's the whole stage is shaking. But wasn't at that pay grade, so I was like, fuck it, just everyone can hear it. Just pay the sound guy, just be like, hey, make it so everyone can hear it, and that's all I needed.
Yeah. before I got this, what I've been doing for the past several years is I have dark glass X Ultra. Right here. This one, it has a built-in crossover, so you distort the high end, keep the low end clean, and compress it. So I would use this with actually another compressor, and so that would be like the distorted tone that would go to the sound guy. And then I have a Neve direct box that would be the clean one that would go to the sound guy, and then he would mix those two, and then he would also send that through my monitor. So in Europe, we have this rig that like our backline company has or whatever that's absolute crap Ampeg rig. So what everybody's hearing is directly from the pedals, and that Dark Glass X Ultra has amazing cabinet simulator. So it sounds like you're playing through this amazing rig.
Totally.
So with the Quad Cortex, I can profile that tone and profile a clean rig and send those two tones, and it's all done.
That's awesome, man. No, that's actually Trevor, one of my best friends' roommate. He got the new Nolly. Is it Dark Glass? I think the new Nolly Dark Glass, that one where it's like got all these like separate. You press a certain button and you can. Yeah, that one. Yeah. That's a trippy one, man. It's
Trevor just did a recording session, right, with his new band. What's it called?
Yeah. No, he actually, so for that band, he actually thought about Jeff. You probably even heard about this bass. It was there's that he was wanting to buy it because he's got these Zahn fucking $6,000 basses, like these custom basses. He's all, I'm not gonna bring these fucking things on tour, So he was like, he hit me up and was like, what do you think I should like buy to like be something to like not a throwaway, but something that could get fucked up and I won't be sad about, not a custom made that I had every detail mapped out. And he initially brought up that Music Man has the dark glass circuit in the actual fucking like bass now. What's that?
Like $5,000.
No, that one it might have been a Sterling then, but I think it was like 2,800, something like that.
I was gonna say, I just heard that the dark ray bass is what it's called.
Okay.
5Gs.
Yeah, I mean, I told him because he asked me what I thought about it, and I was like, I mean, for me being the nervous Nelly that I don't want anything to go wrong on stage, I was like, I don't know about having like that rig inside your bass is a good idea. For me, like I think of everything going wrong, so I'm like having that active electronics dark glass like fucking brain inside of your bass kind of scared me a little bit, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. For me, I get worried, like, and then you have no bass. I don't know, like if that thing goes down. But we ended up with the MTD, like one of those like 2,600. Because I guess their band. Speaking of Guitar Center, like their band, someone in Guitar Center got it, $800 off, like MTD.
So how does Guitar Center make any money with all these dudes that are just hooking people up?
Well, they went bankrupt, and then
they've gone bankrupt like 9 times.
Yeah,
and they wonder why, dude. They got
bankrupt when I was working for them in 2011. Like when I worked for them for about a year, and they went bankrupt, and it was Mitt Romney's company that actually bought it, like Bain Holdings. They bought it for some sort of investment. Yeah, they were really going. I was like, oh, this is the end. Like, fuck, here we go. And it's like during the economic downturn in like 2010, 11. So it was like, and I literally, to that interview, I literally showed up and there was like 15 other people going for just to sell guitars is all it was. So that was the guitar salesman with like briefcases and fucking like college degrees and like all this shit, like fucking full suits and stuff. And I'm just sitting there and I like have like a basic like button up on and I just chugged like a Monster Energy drink and I'm having an anxiety attack. And yeah, I remember like fucking pitching myself to everyone. I was like freaking out. And at the very end, they were like, so put yourself in my position. Who would you hire in this whole group of people? It was like 15, 20 people. And everyone said me. And I was like, whoa. I was like freaking out the whole time. I'm like, holy shit, I crushed it, dog. But yeah, that was like how competitive. I remember Brandon from the Faceless he told me he went to a movie theater interview to be a ticket ripper at a movie theater during the 2009, 2010. And he said there was like people with like gnarly college degrees there, like trying to get the job. That's how bad it was. Yeah, it was insane. Yeah. That's how crazy it was. But yeah, those basses, I mean, so Warwick, so Warwick is Framus too, right? Framus, Warwick.
Yeah.
So how did you get connected with them? I might have been pissing when you talked about it, but.
No, I haven't talked about it.
Okay.
So actually how I got hooked up with them was from Derek Boyer.
Okay.
He knew the old rep, Chris Kunitz. And so when I did that tour with Rings of Saturn, Derek was playing bass for Decrepit Birth.
Okay.
And I've known Derek for like over 20 years.
Yeah.
Back when I was in Vile and he was in Deprecated. So I was saying, I don't know, we were just bullshitting, and I was talking about how like Warwick was basically my favorite bass brand, and it'd just be amazing to be able to have anything to do with that. And so he's like, "Oh, I know Chris Kunitz. He's a super cool dude. I'll send an email." And so Chris was kind of like, it was funny. It was one of those things. He was like, "Okay, well you can send me this, and I might be able to give you this deal." And then he was like, "You're the dude from Brain Drill." And he's like, "Oh, well, I have this 7-string that's just sitting in the custom shop here in New York, and
damn,
maybe I'll just send it to you." And I was like, "Okay, that's good." And so he sent it to me right before I got the 6 Feet Under gig. And so after I got the 6 Feet Under gig, it was just like, "Oh, dude, you're just like 100% artist. You can just have whatever the fuck you want,
That's awesome.
That's sick.
And so I have 3 custom shop Warwick 7 strings that has been part of the endorsement, and things have changed a lot there, and there's been tons of people that have left. But I don't endorse things because I can get something for free.
Mm-hmm.
I do it because I believe in what they do, and I believe in the instruments. And so even if they were like, "We're not going to endorse anybody ever again," I would still probably buy their instruments because I love them. And so I'm one of the few people that have stuck around, and I'm in it for whatever. And I don't know if you guys know about, like, they did the bass camps before, where they would basically fly in every artist and even other people that aren't even associated with the company just for like a big party every year.
Sick.
And so I did that 3 times, and it was insane. They fly you in, they put you up in a nice hotel, they feed you well, and you're hanging out with Billy Sheehan and Devin Townsend and like everybody you can imagine. They take you just to go party with these people. So
that's awesome.
I have insane respect for Hans Peter. He's the owner of the company and everything that they do for everyone. And so, yeah, I'm Warwick for life.
Nice.
That's awesome that you randomly like get in touch with them. They have a 7-string just laying around.
Right. It was like, well, we got this thing on the wall. What's this touch?
Fuck.
It's the audio again, man.
You're a robot again, dude.
You're a robot again.
Their custom shop is insane. With the artist is like, we don't want to give you
your voice is all robot-y again, dude. Yeah. It's so funny how just like kind of there, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's just like in your face.
All right.
Where's Casey, dude? Well, actually, you do the same thing. We're gonna have to let him know. Wait, that sounded normal.
No,
it didn't.
Sorry.
Yeah, do a quick restart. We got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Remember time for Casey. It's 10:14.
10:14. I'll text
10:14.
Right,
so like give him like 10:12 or 10:13.
Poor Casey.
I think
he's not gonna be able to let him in for like.
He's probably doing that. He probably had to walk away because of how it already sounded.
No, I texted him in the group chat. It was like a little farty, and I was like, "Just let it fart, dude."
Yeah,
just let it fart, dude. It's like Tom and Christina.
Just let it go. I mean, it wasn't that bad. So I was like,
Tom to Christina. He always says, "Let those tits fart." Dude.
yeah. That's like sounds like that's like my fucking mantra.
Well, we should.
We should what?
Oh, probably wrap it when he gets back.
Yeah, we're kind of he's not. I mean, just the talking isn't. It's kind of not going. I mean, we also cut him off a million times in the middle of him talking about stuff. So we got.
So you didn't have
we all did that.
Yeah, I know. We all did that.
Yeah,
we all did that. I tried because I saw like he was like right to get in the middle of something. We would just like divert into like this like deep story into something else, and I was like looking at him like, "Fuck, you probably forgot the story, didn't you?" Like, yeah.
Cali,
this is. I think this is might be the drunkest episode.
I think I'm all right.
I mean, for me, I'm fucking like, I'm like, Casey's drunk. Dude, I'm drunk.
In all reality, dude,
I'm fine. I've had one beer, one seltzer.
Yeah, I've had this is my 7th.
Dude, this one sucks. It's Carl Schwartz. What is it? Carl Strauss.
Schwartz. But watch, I want to see Casey come back. We were like, dude, the podcast is over. Tell him.
We ended it, dude, without you, dude. No,
yeah, we ended it, dude. We were gone in the post pod.
No, just joking. Jeff had a robot voice again.
Yeah, the
robot
got
voice.
Android again.
Oh shit!
We saved the time. It was 10:14.
It was like a little farty, and then it just was like
super bad. Oh, okay,
it's like, yeah.
We gotta save it though.
It's
keep
like
it
10:13, dude. Those things are funny though, dude.
There you go.
Here he comes.
No worries. Sorry, guys. I had to get a little snack.
It's all good. It's dinner time.
Yo.
Hungry.
Hello, hi.
Hello.
Hi,
hello, hi.
All right. Well,
so
obviously this computer has a time limit before it turns into a robot.
I know, dude. It's crazy, and it like gives you a little bit of a warning, and we're like, "Oh, it's chill, dude. We can go for like 4 or 5 minutes," and then boom! All of a sudden, you're just like, complete
this Android
machine, dude.
Do you want to go back to where you're talking about from that time?
I don't even know.
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We were talking about some Warwick something or other.
Oh, Warwick. We were on the Warwick shit.
But that stuff was usable.
That stuff's keepable.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the Warwick stuff was keepable. It's just like after that, it was just like.
All right. So what else should we add to this before I cut all this out? So, you guys want to? Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, I was going to talk about one other project.
Cool. Yeah, go for it, dude.
Yeah,
go for it.
So I got this new project with Dusty actually.
Nice.
Oh shit.
That basically it was about a year ago. I had this one song that I wanted him to do some stuff for, and it was the same time he did some vocals on that new Deeds of Flesh album.
Mm-hmm.
And so he recorded it here at my house. And so at the same time, we recorded this new song, and it just came out so amazing. I was like, maybe we should just, do like a whole project, do a whole album.
Yeah.
And so, he has a son who's 5 years old, who's friends with my son. And so like they come over and the kids play and like we do our thing. And so I just started pulling riffs out of my ass and, doing the thing. And we have almost a whole album now.
Sick.
And so I do all the guitar and bass mostly. And then, it's really killer coming out.
What style of music is it? What style?
Straight death metal, brutal death metal.
Nice.
It's all very concise. We cut off the fat. There's no bullshit. It's, brutal riffing.
Hell yeah.
We got actually just today I was Skyping with this guitarist that I got on there, and if you guys haven't heard of this guy, you got to check him out. Roy Marchbanks. You heard of him?
Mm-mm.
No?
Roy Marchbanks.
Casey, you heard of Roy Marchbank? This guy is like the fastest guitar player in the world.
Damn.
No bullshit. Like you'll watch this guy and it's mind blowing. So anyways, I found out about him from the guy in Australia that I did some session work for. And so I just hit him up and I was like, hey, can you do the solo? So he started working on this solo about 4 months ago. And so he's like, oh, I'm going to be done with it soon. It's just a little harder than I thought. He literally worked on it for 4 months because he wants to do the whole thing in one take.
Damn.
So this guy, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, it's not real. It's MIDI. So he will Skype with people just to prove to them that he can play as fast as he can actually play. So anyways, randomly, he he finished the solo like a week or two ago, and he wanted to Skype with me. So this morning we were Skyping. He lives in Ireland, and just talking about the metal scene in general, and what he does and stuff like that. And the guy is absolutely mind blowing, like how hard he works on it. But I'm gonna post this video maybe tomorrow or so. He does this run where he's using his thumb, so he's like.
Damn.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, but I'm just amazed that more people don't know about him. I mean, we got all you tech guys, and I remember coming over to your guys' house, like when I was in Brain Drill, and KC would always be on the computer, like playing these Jason Becker videos and these random shreds. I would think that KC of all people would probably know who he was, but yeah, definitely go check him out.
It's hard to keep up. I'm sorry, man. There's so many fucking good musicians now, dude. It's so hard for me to keep up with work, the kids, podcast, new Odious album starting to write. It's like, oh, you guys obviously already wrote your shit, and I'm talking about lyrics, but yeah, like all that shit. It's like so many slivers. There's not a sliver of time for me to find new shit. I need people to give it to me. And then I need to find the time to listen to it, because I like to actually give my time to a new thing to really make sure that I have the right, feeling about it. I don't want to go one ear at work while I'm doing some shit, It's like I want both ears, no distractions, just mute. And those times for me it's few and far between now.
Dude, Anthony, I just checked out Roy Marchbank while you were talking. Like, you can literally just check this guy out. You don't need your full attention.
I'm basically saying I need people to change my diaper, put my headphones on, and press play for me. Just tell me.
The insane.
It's unreal. Yeah, that guy's sick. You're right, dude.
Oh yeah.
So he solos on the Dusty project?
Yeah, if you go to his
What's
Instagram,
that? You guys got a name? What's that called?
Dark Side of Humanity.
Dark Side of Humanity.
Yeah. So this is the first time I'm saying anything about it. We have no like social media, nothing. We've just been working on this, and super killer stuff. So this is my first time even talking about it.
That's awesome,
man.
I mean,
you heard it here first.
I was a Severed fan before I was in it, so I love Dusty's vocals, and I'd love to hear them again.
Yeah, and he's not it's weird because on Severed, it was mostly all low, right?
Yeah,
it was all low stuff, and there's a lot of high, and there's a lot of like double low high things going on. So it's literally us just being idiots in my garage recording and just having a good time. And I mean, that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about, dude. I was just about to say those projects are the ones that you look back on and you have appreciation and love for, where you're just two dudes that are like longtime homies and getting creative in the moment together,
Yeah.
That vibe is a drug, dude. That's why we all still fucking do this shit,
Yeah, hell yeah.
And when you get it right, when you hit that pocket, that's what keeps you coming back, dude. Where you had a good day and you're like, oh shit, we did a lot today,
Right.
Or just like those old band practices, like you work your full day, whatever, and like you get to band practice or whatever, and like you let it all out and things fucking hit. And those that's actually what I miss the most, is just like fucking getting together, looking at each other in the eye and jamming with like the live raw sound. And like after the song we could like talk about, we fucked that up, whatever, and just like laughing and making jokes.
I love the laughing parts when somebody fucks up and everybody realizes laugh at each other, but you're still going. You're still like, you didn't train wreck. We're all good. We're fucking back in the pocket, but we're laughing about it now.
I've never been in a serious enough band where like someone fucked up and then people are looking at you like, dude, you need to work on that. Like, what do you do? Like, it's always been like,
It's like, shit. Let's fucking do it
that
again.
happened to me. That happened to me in Decrepit all the time, dude.
Probably live though. That wasn't me though.
An Odious practice was never like that though.
No,
it was always like, oh fuck, we would try and save it as much as all of us could possibly. Yeah. And then if we train wreck, we just fuck it.
Odious, it was like an existential, like, why did this happen? Like, like we
yeah.
So, you know, like, Decrepit.
They're all too high to realize why it happened.
Yeah, just didn't work.
I think that with the whole band practice thing, I really haven't had a band practice thing for well over a decade.
I miss it, dude.
But there's so much bullshit involved too. You know, you got people that like don't show up on time, and
yeah,
you know, the whole thing with life. But there can be so much resistance when you have different people with different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And when I can just go and like write something and put exactly what my idea is, and then like Dusty comes in and then he's got his ideas, and then it's seamless and there's no bullshit, and everyone's having fun.
Yeah.
And I know that a band can be like that. I just feel like in my situation, I haven't had many times that it was like that.
Yeah. I think it's our relationships. I mean, that's what I'm thinking as you're talking. It's like these guys are my best friends. So when that was happening, we're on a different level, and we're all on that level together. You know, we're in it with each other. Everybody else, you know, the situations that you're talking about, those people are in it as an individual. You know, they're not it's not teamwork, you know, it's not brotherhood, it's not any of that. It's
totally
using that as like a crutch to get them out and keep whatever. It doesn't matter what they're doing it for themselves and for themselves only. I was always in these groups for everybody, dude. I wanted everybody to be happy all the time, as much as we could be happy. Even if we're living off granola for 2 days, dude, we're fucking we're still gonna laugh at shit. We're still gonna fucking listen to good music while we're on the road. You know, we're gonna try and make this thing as comfortable as we possibly can. That's where I was at. And same thing with you and Dusty. Like, you guys have a long history. Like, of course it's gonna work that way. Why wouldn't it work that way?
Right.
And that's why you guys now have a fucking album's worth of material that you're stoked on, because you guys made it together and you guys are homies.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference than like just joining a band or something where like it's a bunch of people you don't know, and like if you fuck up, like they might be whispering in the background or something. You know, they're like it's this weird drama filled shit. It's your friends. It's like, oh, you know, I fucked it up. It's fine.
Dude,
like,
I haven't spoken to Dusty in a very long time, and we got kids that are all the same age, dude. Like, why haven't we done this? We need to do this now.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't see Dusty for about 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ran into it at a Cannibal Corpse show.
Me too. Yeah.
And so that was the first time I'd seen him in a while. And then I saw him at like a Rush show.
Nice.
And a couple years later, but I mean, we really didn't hang out for literally 10 years.
Yeah.
And so
it's about the same for me, dude.
Yeah. So it was probably 2018, the first time they came over to our house and we all hung out. And so it's kind of like, you know, a new beginning, and he hadn't really sung that much. And so he was honestly like nervous about it. And he just came in and killed it. I was like, dude, I didn't know that, you know, he kept it up.
It's still in him.
Whether he was practicing or it's just in him, he just had it.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird running into him again, because that was the same show. I was like out there with like, it was like Cannibal, and it was like a member of Cannibal or something like that, and Dusty was there too, like talking to him outside Slim's, and I was like,
Metro,
what the fuck? Was it the Metro? Yeah, it might have been the Metro. But I literally saw Dusty, and it's like down the street. But or no, I'm thinking of fucking DNA. It was Metro. Okay, so I'm seeing Dusty again. And I'm like I'm, you know, had a few beers and stuff, and just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna fucking break this goddamn ice that's fucking whatever. And I went over, and it was just like no time had passed. It was like just saying, like hearing his voice talk again, and like all the things, like the conversation stuff, just brought back so many memories of just like me being a kid and you know, me being younger and playing with Odious and stuff when he was coming to my house all the time. Like it literally broke down all the things. And I was like, fuck, man, you were part of like the crew that we hung out with, that hearing him just talk and like I don't know, it really just like was kind of like it was a major experience.
We all, Dusty, Dan, and I all experienced Odious Mortem at the same time. We heard it all at the same time, and I can even tell you that on the way back from, because we came down there before we heard your album, heard Devouring, and we listened to it on the way back because David had burned us some copies to take home, and Dusty literally like either had to piss super bad. We were in traffic on Highway 1, broad daylight. He just jumps out of the car, goes and pisses in a bush and jumps back in. But as we're listening to Devouring, but we're like, this is crazy shit, dude. Like we didn't expect Odious to sound like that, you know? It was just something very different. And I don't know why I brought up Odious in this conversation, but it was just a situation that Dusty came down to Santa Cruz and we all experienced something together. That's what I'm remembering all of this as we're talking.
Talk about Odious. How dare
you? But yeah, no, bringing Dusty down to Santa Cruz was like, dude, it was like always a thing. Dusty would always come down there. One of the first things we did together was go down to Santa Cruz, hang out with you guys, and fucking go to Streetlight.
I still remember like me and him smoking a cigarette in the patio of the Thunderdome and him going like, I got a new track for a song, dude. It's called Inverted and Inserted, dude. Like he was like, he was so stoked on it. He was like, dude, Inverted and Inserted, dude. I'm gonna fucking put it all over the merch and do everything like that. And like I was like, damn, that actually fucking, for like what we were going for back then, I'm like, that's fucking perfect, dude. That's
so
like,
a little inside baseball for the listeners. That song was already written with different lyrics when Dusty was in the band. I had to rewrite that song.
Yeah. So I
recorded
Dusty's demo for that at my house in Boulder Creek.
Yeah.
So I had this, it was a small house. It was like a 2-bedroom house. So in the room that I had all my music stuff in, he would go record in the closet. So there was always this joke about coming out of the closet. But I remember there was a full demo that we had for Inverted and Inserted with him.
There's some physical copies of there's a Servile Insurrection song demo that I also rewrote the lyrics for, used his exact patterns.
Yeah, I think there was 2 songs that I recorded the demos for.
Yeah. And there's some live footage of them doing those songs with him. He had Inverted and Inserted. Actually, he had different patterns and stuff. That was all. I did the patterns that I did. He did the patterns that he did. But Servile was totally same patterns that he had on the demo. I just redid the lyrics. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. Based on a Man is the Bastard 7-inch cover, A Pile of Humans. And I was like, okay. Yeah, dude, a pile of humans with a politician at the top, like having a good time smoking a cigar. And I was like, there's a song right there. And that's Servile Insurrection. So read that and you'll understand. It was a Man is the Bastard 7-inch.
Isn't it like a pile of skulls?
Yeah, whatever it was, dude. It literally was a poster in the bathroom of the furniture dome.
Yeah.
It was probably David who put it up, but it was literally a pile of bones and skulls. Yeah. And dude, which I love that band, but it literally was that cover that sparked the idea to write all the lyrics to Servile Insurrection.
That's fucking rad, dude. I think it's like San Diego bands. I think it's like the Locust and like those old.
It's that power or early power violence. You actually, dude. To bring it back around, that's a band that played only bass, drums, and a dude who had like a joystick that would like, he would like,
he had a joystick.
He had a joystick that it was like a homemade machine that would make like a chirping noise that he would like play with the pitch and frequencies and fucking tempo of the sound just off a joystick, right? Am I right, Casey?
Yeah, dude, I think so. I like that part. Yeah,
it's weird, bro. Dude. But, it's like weird. It's a weird offshoot of like punk.
Man is the Bastards from like '97 San Diego style. It's like Claremont. It's like mid San Diego. I was like looking it up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No,
geography.
It's early like heavy bass shit.
Dude, it's all about Tarantula Hawk, dude. That band is the shit, dude. Everyone should check out Tarantula Hawk.
Isn't that funny that they're San Diego too, right? Are they San Diego?
Fuck yeah, dude.
So it's like the Locust and Tarantula Hawk.
Like two bass players with like sequencers and like.
But they're both like.
I saw them back in like the late 90s.
A Tarantula Hawk is like a crazy insect. The Locust is a crazy insect.
Dude, it's like, it's so good. Like, also that band Zombie on Relapse, like they have songs that kind of sound kind of like Tarantula Hawk.
Oh, okay.
But this was like late 90s, and I saw them like, you know, like I don't know if it was like With the Locust or Cattle Decap, like way back, like, you know, like the first shows. Yeah, that Tarantula Hawk's like insane, dude.
Hell yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
So we were on like the Servile Insurrection demo, and I don't know where else we were going with that, but
do you guys like
in the weeds?
We got deep into Hawk territory.
Do you like Between the Buried and Me?
Oh yeah, dude, of course.
So I just got a notification on my phone that there's a new song for Colors 2.
Yeah, dude.
Available on my phone right now.
Which the first Colors was fucking amazing, dude.
Well, actually, you know, so Naveen down the street, fucking that first
one,
he
that
did the
new song. Yeah,
he did the drum solo on the new song. It's
really?
It's him, Mark Portnoy,
dude.
It's him, Mark Portnoy, and the Mike Portney.
Who's that?
And
sorry, Joel.
Hughell and Portnoy.
Is it Mike Portnoy?
Okay, Ringo Starr.
It's the who's the other
Mike? It's not that
Keith
hard.
Moon.
Bro.
Yeah, Mark Portney. Mark Portney and Navine Copperbeast, and there's the other. I forget it, the drummer for.
Remember the other guy either.
Yeah. They fucking just found that out who that was, but it's another big band. But anyways, and the drummer of Between the Buried and Me like go into this kind of like gospel chops in the middle of the fucking song, and they just go into a fucking gospel kind of like drum solo in the middle of the song.
So sick, dude.
I know. It's
Speaking
so sick.
of which, I've been like sending a bunch of people this message on like Instagram,
hold on.
but
Sorry, no.
that new gospel chops one by Eric Moore on his Instagram with that like
you sent me that, but I haven't.
I just saw that today. I was
like, Redding, dude. It's so
amazing.
I'm sure Alex Bent was psyched.
Yeah, dude.
That's his homie.
Shout out, because that shit fucking rules.
No, it's awesome, man. Actually, me and Joseph and I guess Mike Keene are gonna go to the Garden Grove Between the Buried and Me show. They're playing The Great Misdirect all the way through, which is
I'm going to Spades, bro.
Oh shit, my fucking ex hometown, dude.
Yep.
What, bro?
That's gonna be my first show since the whole Brovid thing.
Yeah, Brovid. I'm actually going to me and Joseph too. We're going to the Psycho Fest with like Cannibal Cephalic and Immolation.
Oh, nice.
Dying Fetus. It's
Vegas?
like in the Vegas, just like
awesome.
Fucking Mandalay Bay, a bunch of fucking swimming pools and like fucking cephalic carnage.
That's
Sign
amazing.
me up. Yeah, that's gonna be
dope.
But now
where are you gonna stay?
Luxor.
Oh, okay.
Next door. It's next door. But I'm a little
Luxor.
Getting a little worried about the numbers right now. There's a little spiking with the COVID stuff, so I might get canceled.
Yeah, dude.
I'm kind of thinking it could get canceled now because like looking at the stat sheet, yeah, it could fucking.
I don't look at any of those sheets. I don't watch any news whatsoever. So
that's good. That's a good move.
Uninformed on
the only reason why I look at the stat sheet is for concerts. That's the only reason. Like I'm sad about the whole situation and stuff.
I'm gonna see Tom Segura in October, dude. I hope it fucking still.
Yeah, with these big outdoor festivals though, is what I worry about. Like a bunch of mass people getting together. Like that's an easy one to cancel. So I'm like, fuck. Like after all this shit, like I finally spend like thousands of dollars to go to this thing, and then it's just gonna get canceled. I just have a feeling, But,
well, yeah, dude.
What can you do?
Yeah.
I mean, just not be an idiot and buy a bunch of fucking tickets all early because fucking shit's not really
super
over
excited for shit to be a possibility again.
I know. Well, fuck yeah, Jeff. It was good to have you on, man. We're probably gonna wrap it up right here, but awesome. I love your beard. It's fucking perfectly symmetrical.
Wait, I can't see the bottom of it though.
I know. How long does that thing go? Is that thing touching your nuts?
Can you like please stand up so we can see that?
Oh, okay.
There you
It's
go.
got length, dude.
Do you know approximately how long it is?
Brand new Deeds of Flesh shirt.
Oh, nice.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah.
First time ever worn.
Oh, yeah.
But
it's got Viking length.
It gets scraggly at the end, so it's not as.
That's got to be hard to maintain, man. That's got to be.
No, all you do is nothing. If you have beard products,
that makes it. It's like Visine or fucking other shit. Like once you start using it, you got to keep using it, dude.
It's like chapstick.
My line is when people come up to me and they're like, "Dude, nice beard." I'm like, all you have to do is nothing. Like you obviously did something to have that facial hair you have now.
Literally do nothing. Yeah,
that's what I would do on tour and stuff with like Matt and everyone with like long hair and stuff. I'd be like, dude, I'm buzzing my hair because I'm seeing all the maintenance you have to put into that, and I'm not gonna fucking go down that road. That's not gonna be a thing I have to do. Like
no maintenance.
Yeah, you just wake up. It's like
you gotta shave this part a little bit.
So do you wake up? Do you ever pass out like it's just to the side and it just goes right back to the?
Or like you roll over on it and you're like,
there's no beard cowlicks.
Like pull yourself.
It can get a little bit out of control, but I mean, you just push it down and whatever.
Didn't Craig Peters from Deeds? He said he could like use it as a blanket, dude. His hair is long enough to where he could use it.
Oh, the hair! I was like talking about the beard, so I was like, Jesus.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't clarify.
I was like, he uses Jeff Hughell's beard as a blanket.
Yeah, he uses Jeff's beard.
I didn't know we were that good of friends, but I mean, yeah.
You didn't know, dude? Craig sneaks into your window, dude. Blanket, dude.
Happened.
Well, again, dude, I appreciate you coming on and fucking hanging out. It's fucking awesome to have like fucking part of the old pound.
Yeah,
everything got me into like one of the people that was around when I was first getting into it, and I'm super stoked.
Have you heard about Demon? Have you heard about Demon recently at all?
Now I have.
Like, when was the last time you heard about
Fuck
Demon,
the Police tattooed on his head?
Fuck the Police tattooed on his eyebrows. Severed Savior tattooed on the back of his head.
I haven't seen that dude in a very long time, yeah.
Yeah, dude. He was just one of the regulars that you're just like, dude, wait, I don't even know your real name yet. I just know you as Demon.
No, he was a bouncer at the Cactus Club.
Okay.
Usually met him. So before the Pound, we would go to the Cactus Club like all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was the San Jose spot. That was it. Yeah.
Fucking Demon, dude. Well, hope you're doing good, Demon.
Yeah. Exactly.
What a line to end on.
Fuck yeah. Well, right on, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on another Friday night for you guys. Got more episodes for you guys coming soon every week. Fucking hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I want to get us on Spotify. Enough of you guys are talking about it, so we got to figure out how we're going to do that. Thank you to the new subscribers. Tell all your friends about it. Hit all those awesome buttons. CaliDeath.com. Jeff, obviously, hit up 6 Feet Under for all the fucking Google 6 Feet Under for any 6 Feet Under merchandise, and Vile and all those other bands that you heard on this episode. Go buy some shit from them. Yeah, if they got it for sale, go buy it.
You guys do. You guys are doing something killer here, getting all these sick metalheads on here, and I got plenty of friends that are into this and talking about it. So
hell yeah, dude.
You guys for that.
I mean, I think that we're hitting a nerve that all of us wanted to be hit, not just you guys, but it's us too. Like being able to meet and talk to or old friends like right now, dude. Jeff, we wouldn't have had this time unless it was you decided to come on to the episode and do this right now, because we're all so busy, and we haven't hit shows like we used to. So it's like I'm glad that I was able to have a few hours or couple hours with you tonight to see what you're up to and hear all this shit that you've been talking about, dude. So it's like all that's happening, all these new people that I'm meeting. It's like it's a great thing, dude.
We're honored to have you on.
Oh, most definitely, dude.
Yeah.
Definitely honored, dude. You're right in there in the core people that we want to represent Cali Death too.
And you're in a is it a bass players magazine poll for like best
I voted
metal bassist of all time? Everyone should go
tell everybody where they need to vote.
Everyone should go fucking vote for Jeff, dude, because you are the best.
It's on Guitar World magazine. So,
nice, dude.
Yeah, I don't even know how. I kind of think I know how. Actually, I got in that list. But it's amazing and it's humbling that I could even be considered. And there's so many sick dudes that are not on the list, but just honored.
You're on it, dude, and you're
when the hordes of Cali Death fans go,
I know,
flock to that voting,
flock to cast
my vote.
We'll get you there, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Well, thanks, man.
Nice.
Well, sick. Everybody have a sick night, safe weekend, all that shit, and we'll see you guys next week. Rock on.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
Thanks, bud.
Right on, brother.